and the book was very popular. And a friend of mine who I interned with sent me the book. And I started looking through the book, and I said to myself that although there's some very useful information in this book, there's also a lot of distortions, admissions, so forth and so on. I thought the book oversimplified black men to the point of childishness. So I said, being a therapist, being a family therapist, having never been married, I spend a lot of time working with married couples, do a lot of therapy, because I'm a child therapist, which often dictates that I work with the parents who are messing the kid up because they can't get along. Doing that for about 15 years, I begin to notice certain patterns in the black love situation. So a couple years ago, I said, you know what, I'm going to do a presentation on relationships and basically give people my assessment of what I've been seeing as it relates to black male-female relationships. Now, the benefit of hearing about relationships from me, an unmarried man, would be what? Would be the fact that I approach male-female relationships from a very scientific standpoint. I approach it from the perspective of a therapist, not as a married man. Now, a married man could come before you and tell you about his marriage, but that's it. Just because that's what he went through don't mean that's what you're going to go through. But as opposed with a therapist, I've been in all kind of houses, all types of marriages. So I have the benefit of dozens of successful and unsuccessful marriages. And so what I want to do now is distill to you, with some seriousness and with some comedy as well, my assessment of the black male-female relationship crisis. Public education is under extermination. There will be no public school in the next 30 years. Why? Because they no longer need black workers in order for the American economy to function. They no longer need black workers in order for the American economy to function. That's why you see public schools shutting down all across the country. Have they closed any down here? Not yet? Okay, it's coming. They're getting rid of the schools because they don't need black people no more. Prison is for black people, and they can get illegal immigrants to do the other work. So there's no need for school anymore. Not for us. We was brought here to serve, we're no longer needed, and so now they're looking for strategies to get rid of black people and lock them up. So build your own schools and make your own economy, or we're going to be exterminated. It's really just that simple. Now, relationships. Why do relationships fail? Number one, self-hatred. Too many black people are looking for other people to make them feel better. That's right. You're getting involved with a man, with a woman, not because you really enjoy their company or because you really enjoy the camaraderie you have. You're getting into relationships because you want them to do for you what you can't do for yourself, which is feel better. A lot of us are trying to find somebody else to do what? Make us like us. Depression, misery, and loneliness is sending you out into the relationship world. Not because you're looking for someone else whose happiness and life vision and destiny you want to support. That's not why you're getting into a relationship. You're getting into a relationship because you got needs and you want them to fill them. In other words, many of our relationships today are quid pro quos. I'm getting in this relationship under the agreement that you're going to be able to put me in Oprah Winfrey's house. I'm getting in this relationship because you're a beautiful woman and I expect you to stay that way until you're an old woman. Quid pro quo. We don't come to relationships for honest, non-selfish reasons. Every reason we get into the relationship is selfish. Me, I. And if you got two people only worrying about themselves, the relationship must fail because it is a crisis in selfishness. Unhappy people coming together looking for happiness. How can two unhappy people make a healthy relationship? You coming with baggage, she coming with baggage. Kaboom. All of us, when we come into the world with what? Unmet needs. Everybody in here. When you're born, from your mother and father, what do you have a need for? Love, a need for deep intimacy, trust, an ability to rely and have faith on somebody, reciprocity, the ability to exchange an equal give and take. Everybody in here, in order for you to have a healthy marriage, you must have had a healthy love affair with your mother and your father. That's right. A boy must have a love affair with his mother first. And he has one with his father. That's where he secures his manhood. The girl must have one with her mother first, and she has one with her father. If a boy hasn't had a love affair with his mother, it can be difficult to have one with other women. If a girl has never been loved adequately by her father and has never loved the father adequately, that can lead to hopeless romantic syndrome, ladies. What is hopeless romantic syndrome? We'll talk about it a little bit later when we talk about dysfunctional personalities, but the short version is a hopeless romantic woman is a woman who falls in love with every man she meets because she's looking for a father's validation. Every man becomes the objectified daddy. And then you cling to him. You smother him to the point where he leaves you. It reinforces the belief you had that no black men are good anyway. Look at the cycle. Look at the cycles, the self-perpetuating defeatist cycles. So the first thing I said is what? We have a need for love. If you got love from your mom and your dad, you're going to be good. But let's say Dr. Umar's mother didn't love him adequately. We didn't have a good intimacy. I really didn't have a good emotional attachment with my mother. How am I going to deal with that when I get older and start dating other women? I'm going to deal with it one or two ways. You either run away from it because you're scared of it because you never had it. You run away from it because you're scared of it, you never had it. Or you do what? You run to it, which means you overindulge to try to get the need met. So Dr. Umar never had a love affair with his mother. I get into a relationship with a black woman. I'm likely to do one or two things. I'm either going to try to make her love me, try to make this relationship go faster than what it needs to go because I have an unmet need I'm trying to get met through her. Are y'all following me? Or I'm going to do what? Soon when I start feeling that attachment, soon when I can tell we starting to fall in love, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to split. I'm getting the hell out of Dodge because I'm afraid of this. Ladies, you ever date a man and you knew he loved you, he was into you, you knew he loved you, and one day he just disappeared. Had nothing to do with another woman. You're like, that man loved me. I know he did. Why did he leave? Because he ain't used to love. It's scary. He's afraid that if he lets you love him, you're going to hurt him like his mama did. Same thing go for women. You either run away from it or you run to it. So that's intimacy. What about trust? You got a woman who could never trust her father. Her father never kept his word. Every time he promised something, he never delivered. She get into a relationship. Guess what? She's going to do one or two things. Trust every man she meets on the first date. Here you go, boo. Here's the keys to my apartment. First date. Because you're trying to force trust because you never had it. Or she going to do what? Put her guard up so high that she never trusts no man she dates. She's been married 30 years and still don't trust her husband. Some of y'all in this room right now, men and women, wondering why you keep repeating the same relationship pattern because you haven't figured out your psychological riddle. What didn't your parents give you that you keep trying to get from other adults? I keep attracting the same man. I just get these men and they come and they use me, Dr. Umar. They use me. Why? Because obviously you have a look on your face that says, use me. You have an energy that radiates to other men that let them know you feel needy. You need a man in order to feel like a woman. You will always be taken advantage of. And then you have reciprocity. What is reciprocity? That's dealing with give and take. If you grew up in a house where you was able to get your needs met, give and take is easy. But what if you grew up in a house where you couldn't eat if you wasn't on time? If you was 5 minutes late for dinner, your brothers and sisters ate it all up. If you didn't get down to that Christmas tree on time, somebody stole your gifts and sold them. No, this is real. People grow up in situations like this. I work with kids like this. Living in a house is a damn war. You want some soap to wash up with? Well, you better save that little piece and hide it under your mattress. When you grow up in those type of environments, you get into relationships and you keep on doing what? Repeating what you experienced. Now you're in a relationship with a good woman, good woman, good woman, good woman. She do everything for you. You don't do nothing for her. Why? Because you so paranoid that if you show her any sign that you care, she gonna use you. My premise of the talk tonight is that most of our adult relationships are doomed to failure from the unhealthy patterns we've seen in our houses growing up as children. The relationship was doomed to fail before y'all even got together because you didn't understand yourself and he didn't understand himself. And both of y'all looking for somebody to do what no other human can do, which is make you happy. How many times do I hear that from people? I just want a man to make me happy. I just want a woman to make me happy. Can't nobody make you happy because emotions are internal. You create them. Can't nobody make you happy but you. Stop giving that responsibility to somebody else. If you don't like you, how in the hell am I going to like you? Some of us can't stand ourselves, but don't understand why other people don't like us when you don't like yourself. And this whole relationship is based on me trying to make you feel better about who you are. Are we serious? And the minute I don't do a good job of distracting you from you, you drop me off and pick up somebody else, and then you run around and say, Dr. Umar made me miserable. He made my life a living hell. I'm so unhappy. No, boo-boo, you was unhappy before you met me. All I did was expose it. Nobody make you happy but you. Most of us addicted to relationships. Can't be by ourselves. One relationship over, we jump into another. One marriage over, we jump into another. Why are you running from yourself? Do you know why we don't like to be by ourselves? The reason we don't like to be by ourselves is because when you by yourself, do you know what your consciousness does? It holds up a mirror of everything about you that you need to fix, but don't feel like it right now. So the best way to get out of your own responsibility is to find somebody to distract you from it. And that's why relationships begin to fail once you meet somebody who's really trying to help you grow, because you're not interested in growing. Hey, baby, why don't you stop smoking them cigarettes? You don't tell me what to do. I'm not dating you to become a better person. I'm dating you to cope with the person I already am. And that's why when you date people, you have to do what? Evaluate their willingness to grow. Because you are on a spiritual journey, and the man and woman you choose to walk with on that journey got to be able to support your destiny. How are you spiritual married to a materialistic person? That can't work. But some of y'all trying to make it work. I know all types of conscious brothers married to women who were Beyonce chicks. Talking about some, Dr. Umar, she raising my daughter with weaves and perms and blonde hair, but you knew that when you met her. Why are you trying to make her something she ain't? You can't change nobody. When you meet somebody, you got to ask yourself the million-dollar question. Can I live with this person as they are for the rest of my life until the day they die if they never change nothing about themselves? Can you say, yes, I can tolerate him forever? Yes, I can tolerate her forever? Or do you just like most of what you see, but not all of what you see, and you fail to recognize that problems don't disappear, they only get worse? Who are you fooling? It's like so many black women I meet who, when I say, why did you marry him? Because y'all don't seem like a good fit. Because he proposed. So you got married just because he asked you? Yeah. You know what's bad for black women out here, Dr. Umar? You lecture about it. I seen on YouTube. You said only 1 out of 4 of us ever going to get married. He asked. I said, hell yeah. Ladies, listen to me, black woman. The most attractive thing that you have cannot be bought. It's called confidence. I don't care how good you look. I don't care how much money you spend on your hair, your clothes, your pocketbook. The most attractive thing to a man is confidence. You can have 2 women side by side. One is drop dead gorgeous. The other one is average. But if the other one exudes the confidence, if her God energy is stronger than yours, she will walk away with him. Now that's the good news. So you ain't got to spend no more money on hair, none of that garbage. Work on yourself. Get married because he asked you. Listen to me, black woman. I know the ratio. What's the ratio of black men to black women in Louisville? What is it, 1 to what? 35. Dang, it ain't that bad. If it's 1 to 35, I'm moving here. What about 1 to 20? 1 to 3, I don't think it's that good. 1 to 9, 1 to 8. Let's say 1 to 8. Listen to me, black woman. So you say I'm 1 out of 8 possible wives? I gotta be desperate to make sure I get one. Wrong. First of all, let's look at that 8 women. You 1 of 8, right? 3 of them crazy as hell. So now you 1 of 5. Okay? 1 of them is confused. So she ain't into men. Now you 1 of 4. 1 of them married, now you 1 of 3. In other words, it ain't as bad as you look once you take out the crazies and everybody else. You're only dealing with like 1 to 3. And who gets the 1 if they're 1 to 3? The one with the confidence and who got something to bring to the table. Ladies, never appear desperate. Like my sisters, when you get into your 30s, sisters who get to their 30s, they start looking at the biological clock. I'm 33, just got my master's, I ain't got no kids, but I gotta get married first. Brothers know what I'm talking about. You ever went out with a sister like in her mid-30s with no kids? That date like a track race. For the kid, I gotta be married by next summer, engaged by the following summer, I need to have my first. Damn, you don't even know my last name. Sister, don't be pushy. Be natural. Never appear desperate. Desperate is not attractive. I'm telling you. And whether you're a man or a woman, never tell people that you stand for certain principles you ain't gonna keep. Oh, we good for that. We good for that. I don't give out no cookies until I've been with a man for a year. And then you done gave them out. Be quiet. If the oven is baking, what you lying for? You have to let that steam out. It's real. Brother say, yeah, I don't chase no woman. If a woman don't want me, I just let her go on. First time she don't answer her phone, you stalking her. Who you lying to? We got to be real. And then a lot of us get married for materialism. Oh, my wife is a lawyer. She make over $150,000. So that don't mean you're going to be happy. My husband is an engineer. He's the chief of his firm. And since when did money make people happy? Look at Hollywood. They crazy as hell. Don't no money make nobody happy. What's the 2 biggest factors of life happiness? Do you know what they are? You know what the 2 biggest factors of life happiness? It ain't got nothing to do with how good your wife look, how much money your husband will make. The 2 biggest factors of life happiness is, do you love what you do for a living? And do you love who you spending your life with? So you mean the fact that you working on your law degree ain't got nothing to do with how happy you're gonna be? No, it might make your ass miserable when you're done. Do you like what you do? When you get up and go to work, do you like that? And if you don't like your job, do you have something you do after work that gives your life some meaning? And do you love who you spending your life with? Oh, I married her because she got pregnant. I grew up in the church. And now you're miserable. You got to choose your husband patiently. You got to choose your wife patiently. Love doesn't have to be rushed. It can wait. And we got to stop getting married just because we love people. That is not enough. Love is an emotion. It can change. Why did you marry her? I loved her. But y'all had nothing in common. See, you got to have values in common. Not surface stuff. I'm a psychologist, she's a psychologist. She Pan-African, I'm Pan-African. Her parents were married, my parents were married. It looks like we equally yoked. No, we not, because I like to spend money and she like to save it. I believe in God, she can't stand God. I want to have a big family with kids and be home all weekend with the kids, and she want to run the streets with her girlfriends. But y'all didn't talk about this before y'all got married? Because you got married for an emotion. Love goes up, love goes down, love can even disappear. So getting married for an emotion is nothing good. In fact, love, I don't even need that. Do you see what people do who love each other after they break up? I don't want none of that. They try to destroy each other's economic life, their destiny, keep the kids away from them, blow their cars up. Love. Y'all know what the hell I'm talking about. I don't want that. What I want is a sister's commitment and trust. We can build on that. If you're going into business, or are you going to go into business with somebody just because you love them? You want to open up a corner store. Or are you going to go into business with me, open up a corner store just because you love me? Does that got anything to do with your decision? Marriage is a business. Yes, there's feelings involved, but it's a business. And if you don't believe me, as soon as the marriage is over, all y'all talk about is the business. So you got to make sure the business is right. Can this woman raise your kids if you die? Can that man raise your kids if you die? And the other thing, we always talk about being equally yoked. You know what we need to be equally yoked? We need to be equally yoked when it comes to self-esteem. It's amazing how to hear people talk about the ideal mate, your ideal partner, but the ideal man you describing, the ideal woman you describing got a self-esteem through the roof and yours is through the ground. A woman with low self-esteem will never end up with a man with high self-esteem, honey. You are your problem. Your magnet is attracting more of the same. All I attract is weed head and dope addicts, because your self-esteem magnet, boo, is only pulling that to you. Your ideal mate might be up there, but you don't think the world of yourself. So if you don't think the world of yourself, how are you going to pull a partner who thinks the world of himself? Like attracts like. Brother with low self-esteem, sister with high self-esteem, all he can do for her is be her personal slave and assistant. You ever see people never want to be around a partner they with? They'll come to an event like this and never go by each other the whole time. Get away from him. Some of y'all hear that. You over there, he over that side. Because you don't like them. But you don't like yourself either, so you need them around to distract you. They serve a purpose of keeping your miserable ass from functioning on your miserable ass. Yes! Do couples counseling? You can look at the two couples, you can see why they came together. He had a need for a woman who worshiped him, and she had a need for a man to tell her what to do. Sometimes two unhealthy people can have a happy relationship because they both sick and they know it. Yes. Yes. And then we got to talk about post-traumatic relationship disorder. This is important. I made this up. This is my word. Don't steal it. It's mine. Do you know what post-traumatic relationship disorder is? This is after you get out of one relationship, you don't take time to heal yourself, and you go run into another one. Hallelujah. Who's guilty of that? Show of hands. Oh, you actually put your hands up. Okay, bless you. No, it happens to all of us, right? Post-traumatic relationship disorder. I was in love with her. We lived together for 4, 5 years. We broke up last week, and I'm already out at the club trying to find a new queen this week. That woman is a rebound. Why am I not taking time to heal? If you was with somebody that closely, that means y'all spirits became one. Y'all was a unit. So if y'all breaking up, them spirits got to detach. That takes some time. Now you say, how long does it take to get over one relationship before I start looking for another person? That's a very personal question, but at least a season. If you've been married 30 years, this might take you a few years. You live with that man for 2 years, sister, it might take you 6 months to get over that because y'all was attached. You just don't move on. And then people say dumb stuff like, there's no better way to get over an old person than to find you a new one. Wrong. Having a new person only distracts you from the fact that you're still in love with them. Fellas, you ever date a woman and she ain't seen her baby dad for 10 years because he was locked up, and then all of a sudden he got out, and y'all went to a Dr. Umar lecture and he was there? And you could feel her oven just heating up, and she ready to cook a cookie. You're like, man, this woman's still in love with that dude. Yes, Because she never resolved that. All she did was moved on to you. Ladies, the same thing happened with y'all. He ain't done with her. Out of sight ain't out of mind. Because once they come back, they're going to pick right up where they left off. Talking about you over them. No, you just ain't had the opportunity to see if you were still attached. You need time. And women, you need more time than men because you internal. You are the receiver. I'm not talking about liquid. I'm talking about spirit. I'm talking about spirit. When you lay with a man, his energy goes into you. Not physical, spiritual. Sister say, well, I'm a polyandrous. I got 4 husbands. Really? So you got the energies of 4 sick-ass brothers swimming in your womb, and you wonder why you so miserable. You ain't made like that. You are not made to be the receiver of multiple masculine energies, especially these sick kind of masculine energies we got. And that's why so many sisters are mentally unhealthy, because you playing in the game. You cannot win. You're not built to play around like that. Oh, I could love a man and lay with a man and get up and keep on going. I don't know what you're talking about. No, that's called denial. Emotional suppression. That's what that is, black woman. And black men too, we need a healing period also. Because when you don't heal and you suffer from post-traumatic relationship disorder, still being in love with the other person, you start mistreating the new person. You start projecting on them stuff they didn't even do yet because of what the last person did, because you still traumatized. Get over yourself. You need time. Spiritual evolution is about solitude. Study religion. I don't care if it's Islam, Christianity, African mysticism, East Indian religion. All of them teach that you got to spend time by yourself in order to achieve peace of mind. So if you always dating and chasing, when do you find time to go into the great I am? When do you find time to meditate? We don't like what we are, but we ain't got the discipline to change it. Sisters, you ever had girlfriends who was married with kids, but they never wanted to go home? And soon as I got off from work, she wanted to go get some drinks. And right after I get the drinks, she wanted to go shopping. And then after I go shopping, she wanted to go get some more drinks. Then she wanted to go to the movies. Then she wanted to go eat. Like, damn! Go home! Why don't we like going home? Fellas, you call your homies up. Yo, dog, let's go swing out for a little bit. Hey, man, I want to go here home. Nah, man, come on, man. It's a beautiful day outside. There's only 6 feet of snow out there. Come on. Why he don't want to go home? Because home is where the spirit talks to you. Home is when you're forced to look at yourself. You don't want to deal with you. You don't want to deal with your problem with your mom, the fact you ain't getting along with your sister. You don't want to talk about the fact that you cursed your son out and you need to forgive, ask for forgiveness. You don't want to deal with your problems. So you need somebody to take your mind off of it. Relationships is the newest drug in the black community. It's an addiction. It's a fix. Oh, and then we got to talk about the inner child. Do you know what the inner child is? Everybody sitting here today listening to me has a little person inside of them. The person you were from birth to age 12. That little kid still lives in you. Ladies, you got your little girl. Fellas, we got our little boys. These are the kids who suffer those unmet needs of love, trust, reciprocity. And they normally stay asleep. They don't bother you until they see something they think might help them get their needs met. Ladies, let me give you an example, ladies. You have an unmet need for attention from your father. One day, you at the Dr. Umar lecture, you meet a handsome brother. I mean, he is fine. Now, the adult woman in you says what? I am a woman. I'm not going to sleep with this guy on the first date. We're going to date, boom, but I'm a woman. But the little girl say, hell no! He look good. You get that. And so you're trying to listen to your adult mind. No, I'm not going to do that. I don't care what you want. I never had a handsome man. You hit that. And then what happens, ladies? You let the little girl and you dictate your behavior. You do something you shouldn't have done. And then the next morning you mad and angry at yourself. How could I do that? Because you let a child run your damn life. That's why. And then we got to talk about blending the unblendable. You got kids, I got kids. Before you settle down with him, before you settle down with her, y'all got to make sure y'all agree on how to raise those blended families. Look, I'm all about education. I can never marry a woman who don't really take school seriously. My daughters are going to do their homework, and if they don't do it right, they're going to do it over. But your son don't even have to do this. Are y'all following me? My son do something wrong, he going to get a consequence. Your son do something wrong, it's all right. That can't work. You can't have two laws in the same kingdom. But how many of us don't pay attention to how each of us parent our kids? Most of us don't study our potential husband or wife parenting skills to see if you can live with that. It's no way in hell I can live with an undisciplined child. It's no way I can live with a child who doesn't value education. So if you can't live with a child who doesn't value education, why did you marry a husband who didn't? Them kids might didn't bring y'all together, but they can surely tear y'all apart. All they got to do is go tell grandma and grandpop on you. Yeah, grandma, brother Umar hit me. And then grandma run off, you let that man hit on my grandson. Ain't gonna talk about the fact he was about to punch her in the face and I had to pull him back. You got to get your kids in order. Women, when you ain't have a man, what do? You elevate your oldest son to man of the house status. When you're about to bring a man in that house, you got to put him back in his place. Because some of y'all sons will be walking around, I need to talk to him. 8 years old, I need to talk to him. So now I got to arm wrestle with a 7-year-old because he think he your man. And man, we got to do the same thing with our daughters. Sometimes we elevate our daughters and have them thinking they the woman of the house. Then when a real woman come, your daughter sucking her teeth and snapping her neck. That woman old enough to be her mother. You got to check her. And if you got a whole bunch of unruly kids, you shouldn't be getting married then. Because you got to get your house in order. Ain't nobody putting up with that. Catch a case. And then you marry somebody with addictions? Addictions. You're going to marry somebody with a cigarette addiction? You want to marry somebody who's only going to be around for 20 years of the marriage? I don't understand. You marry somebody with a marijuana addiction? And fellas, you need to watch that marijuana. Especially the young guys. You know what that does? I did a whole research paper on the effects of THC, the chemical active, the psychochemical in marijuana. You know what that does? It slows your blood down. You know what slow blood does when it's time to be intimate with your woman, man? You can't get intimate because the blood is moving slow. The blood is high. So now you can't perform. And she got cookies to bake and you can't bake them! And then some of you women get mad at the man. You the one who was feeding him the weed. You made him impotent. You. These are the things we got to talk about. And then we're not honest with each other when we date. We lie. We show each other the best parts of ourselves. You notice that? You ever see somebody they've been dating for 10 years and then they moved in together and they broke up the second week they lived together? Broke up the second week they was married. How did that happen when y'all was together for 10 years? Because when they was together for 10 years, that was all a front. That wasn't the real people. When do we normally show our partners the real self? When somebody gets pregnant, we get engaged, we move in together, or we get married. Now, what is it about pregnancy, engagement, cohabitation, and marriage that brings out the worst? It's not that it brings out the worst, it brings out the real you. See, when a man gets a woman pregnant, we drop our ego. We stop faking. Because we say, we got to pay for this. The hell with faking, I'm going to be me. Woman get married, she got the ring on her finger. She cooked for you every week when y'all was just dating. Now y'all married, she ain't cooked yet. Because that wasn't who she was. That was just the bait. Ladies, he used to open the door for you, y'all dated. He would open the door every day, rub your feet down. Y'all got married, you put your feet up on him, he kicked them off. What you putting them over here for? Because we got this tendency, once we get into the relationship, we think we can quit. Now, I done wifed you now, I ain't got to do none of that no more. I'm your wife, I don't need to cook no more. But woman, if you don't cook, ain't nothing wrong with a woman who don't cook, as long as that matches up with the husband's perception of what the woman's role is. See, we got to talk about gender balance. Ladies, what do you expect a man to do in the house, and did you communicate that with your fiance? Fellas, what did you expect your woman to do, and did you communicate that? Some women don't want to raise their kids. Can we be honest? So if you're a black man coming from a traditional family where the women raise the kids, and you dealing with this new jack queen, she ain't raising no babies. She come home from the hospital, she give you a box of Pampers and 2 cans of Isomil. I holla. And now you looking at her like, wait a minute, these your kids. But she never told you she was going to be home with them kids. Stop making assumptions and start asking people. Like I tell women all the time, I get a lot of emails from women about this homosexual thing. How do you know if your man is this? How do you know if your man is that? Well, having never been, I can't say. But I tell you what I do know and what I've noticed. If you're not sure about your man's orientation, you need to get familiar with his friends. You hear me, ladies? Because your man might not show signs. His best friend may not show signs. So what you got to do is you got to invite all 10 of his homies over for a Super Bowl party. Oh, I love him! And then I want you to stare at him. And the first one whose eyes get big, and if he shaved his eyebrows off, get out the house! Get out the house! Get! Because if he flaming, somebody in his social group will flame. He gonna float right up your steps. You ain't gonna even know he came in. Invite the group! And if he ever accidentally puts your underclothing on, right! I'm sorry, baby, I thought these was my boxers. Ah! Your boxers don't have a seat in them! And you gotta watch the jokes that they make. Like, yeah, you better stop, or if I'm gonna find somebody else. He said, yeah, I'm gonna find somebody else. She said, yeah, I'm gonna find somebody to treat me good. He said, yeah, I'm gonna find somebody to treat me good. You say, if you don't stop playing with me, I'm gonna find a man who could treat me better than you. And then he said, if you don't stop playing with me, I'm gonna find a man who could treat me better than you. No, real rap. I just got an email, real rap. Sister's husband just confessed to her that he was homosexual up until 5 years before they got married. He just now told her this. Informed consent. We lie to each other. You get married, you got a terminal illness. He got a right to know that. She got a right to know that. You don't get married yesterday and pop up today, you know I'm HIV positive. You don't do stuff like this. You got to be honest. Stop dropping your dirty luggage, because you know you got spiritual vampires in Louisville, right? You know what a spiritual vampire is? These are men and women who look like regular people, but they not. And they only come out at night. They be at the clubs, in the Umar lectures, when the sun is down. And then you meet them and you start talking to them, and everything be going well for a while, male and female, and then after a couple weeks, they just start showing you a nasty ass side you never knew they had, and they start bringing up their problems and dropping all their baggage on your step. You go over their house, the house get dark even if it's light outside. Then they start growing teeth, and they suck your spiritual energy. You never dated nobody where every time you was around them you felt drained? You like, damn, every time I come around you, I took my multivitamins and everything, but every time I come around you, you drain me. And then your friends be looking at you like, girl, you don't look good. You like, you done had 3 birthdays since last week. Because you're dating a spiritual vampire. Fellas, same thing with fellas. You got that woman, she always complaining. She just zapping your energy. You came home happy, baby, I got a raise today. I didn't. Don't you get caught with no spiritual vampire. But some of us like that. Some of us think we were brought here by God to fix other people's problems. A glutton for punishment. Raise your hand. Who in here like to fix other people? You ain't even fixed your damn self yet. But you would have fixed. Stop it. That's not your job. That's a person who don't think they're worthy of happiness. So they're always dating people who make them unhappy. Fix yourself. You cannot change nobody. If he couldn't change himself, how you going to change him, sister? That's crazy. These are the things that we need to be thinking about. And if you don't feel like dating one person at a time, then say that. Women are very uncomfortable about saying that, and I understand why. Fellas are uncomfortable about saying it, and I know why, because you know if you say that, you might not get no cookies. So you lie too, and then after you get a cookie, then you want to be honest after the cookie. Well, you know I see more than one woman. You should have told her that up front. You got more than one woman? If that's your thing, you ain't wrong for that, but she got a right to choose whether she want to be part of a polygamous arrangement. You got brothers married to one woman, he just show up with the next wife one night. This your co-wife, honey. Damn! 10 months pregnant? You don't just drop it off on no sister like that. And don't forget, you got sexually transmitted diseases off the wazoo. Gonorrhea, chlamydia, AIDS, herpes. You don't get rid of herpes? Y'all better be careful out here. Elders too. I just met an elder brother, man. He got herpes, man. Had nothing his whole life. Got with some woman, got herpes. You got to protect yourself out here. Crabs? You too damn old to be getting crabs. That's 16, 17. How you 39 with life? You grown. I'm a grown person. These are the things you got to talk. Some people don't like washing up every day. No, this is real. I got an email from a sister about her husband. She said, Dr. Umar, he only washes up twice a week. And I asked her why. He said, because he don't really see a need to waste that water. Y'all laughing? This is real rap. I got an email from a brother 2 months ago. No, this is real. I'm going to do a whole book on my email questions. Brother said, Dr. Umar, my wife has a certain perfume that is not pleasing. This is real. I'm not making this up. He said, what should I do? Excuse you, tell her. Do you want everybody in the neighborhood to smell her? You tell her. Well, I don't know how to tell her. Be direct. You need some incense. And ladies, y'all don't be honest with your friends. Fellas, how many of you had a girl who would come and tell you about their girlfriend? Yeah, you know, Shaquita don't be smelling right. But if that's your girl, tell her! What you telling me for? Sister, tell your girlfriend. You gonna let the whole world find out first? What kind of friend are you? Bring us some myrrh. And ladies, stop telling men when the last time you've been intimate. I don't know why y'all do this. Yeah, I ain't been with nobody 5 years. Who asked you? I didn't ask you that. Why are you volunteering information? And then you decide to give a cookie and it ain't nothing left. Stop lying! $5 years, really? Well, 5 minutes. And then we got to stop introducing romance too soon. You know why? Because before you got intimate, you could objectively evaluate whether or not this was a good person for you. You could see with both eyes. Sister say, this brother ain't good for me. He don't want to work or nothing. He got an anger problem, breath stink. You know, I can't. Fella, yesterday you was able to see it. Now, I don't think the sister really good for me. She a good sister, but I don't think our destiny's lining up. You could think, but then y'all get intimate. Now you can't think no more. Be honest with yourself, black woman. Yesterday you knew you should have left him alone. But last night, y'all crossed that line. And he hit you with a lightning bolt. Boom! Now you can't see straight no more. And then your girlfriend's like, what you think? When you gonna call it off? When you gonna let him know you don't want to be bothered? Well, I've been thinking, everybody deserves a second chance. Boom! Men, same thing with us.
You see his sister, you say, she cool like a friend, but she ain't wifey material. And then y'all cross that line and she do certain types of tricks you didn't know existed. And now your homie like, when you gonna call it off? Everybody deserves a second chance. Who you fooling? Do you not know intimacy don't keep you married? I don't care how good it is, it does not keep you married. In fact, it can make it worse. It can make it worse, because now you're frustrated. Here's the thing. There's 3 types of attachments that we have with our parents: secure, anxious, and insecure. 95% of the people in this room, the type of attachment you had with your parents in your childhood up to age 12 is predictive of the type of relationship attachments you have now. If you came from parents where you had a secure attachment, you're probably in a secure relationship right now, or soon to be. But if you had an anxious attachment where you wasn't sure if you can trust them, you're probably anxious now in your relationships. And if you had an insecure relationship with your parents, you probably have an insecure one now. Go back into your childhood and fix out yourself. We don't want to go back into that history. No, we could talk about King Tut all night, but soon we start talking about what went on in that house, we don't want to talk about that because it hurts. But that's the only way you can get to heaven, is by going through your personal hell. Nobody gets the peace of mind until you go through your garbage. Remember I talked about unmet needs? These are the 4 major unmet needs. Love. If you never got love, you will either what? Be emotional unavailable, afraid to let somebody love you, or you will be emotionally dependent, falling in love with everybody you meet. Security and attachment, you're either going to be physically unavailable or you're going to smother your partner to death. Show of hands, who dating somebody who smothers the hell out of you? You need an oxygen tank when you wake up. You got to link yourself up because they don't want to get the hell away from you. Can I go to the store by myself, please? See, some of y'all can't raise your hand because the smotherer is right next to you looking at you with a... I wish you would raise your hand. I'll cut you. You're like, damn, I can't get away with my homies. Why she always got to come? I can't go out with my girlfriends. Why he always got to come? He's a smotherer because he never had that secure attachment, so he got to follow you around everywhere you go like an overgrown baby. Why are you putting up with that? Oh, you don't want to be alone, so you'll put up with anybody you're not happy with because you don't like yourself more than you don't like that relationship. And then we got people who got trust issues, so they never trust you or trust you on the first date. Here go my social security number in case you need it. Begging to be used. And then the 4th type, reciprocity. These people who never had healthy give and take in childhood home will either become stingy as hell or they will use you to death. Ladies, you ever date a man, you did everything for that man, his birthday came around, you bought him a nice birthday cake, took care of his kids, your birthday came around, and you got an e-card. E-card. You spent $300 on him and you got an e-card. And some of y'all laughing because you're guilty. When you date somebody, you got to ask yourself, do they have the ability to love you? Do they have the ability to trust you? Do they have the ability to reciprocate? And do they have the ability to attach? I run into a lot of black women who meet some good brothers, good men, but the men were hurt in a previous relationship, so they got a big prison around their heart. So the woman is like, I love this man, but he won't let me love him. And then what is my question to you, sister? Can you live with him as he is if he never changed until the day you die? And your answer is no. But because he's the best thing you found, you try to accommodate yourself to him, and it never works. You cannot cheat spirit. You cannot. And then some of us rush. Fellas, we get into marriages. Women, we get into marriages with people who was good, but it really wasn't what we was looking for. And what happens? Right after you get married, you run into the man of your damn dreams. And now you scratching your head like, uh-oh, I made a commitment to God, but I'm feeling his energy. Fellas, I made a commitment to God, but that's the one. She was the one. Too late, you rushed. If you ain't content with what you got, what the hell you taking it home for? Some of us make better decisions with our cars and our hair than we do in relationships. You go buy a car, you want to test drive the car, you want to see the damn Carfax. You married his ass, you ain't seen no facts. These are the values. If somebody like to save and somebody like to spend, there's going to be a problem. Somebody like hanging with the family, somebody like hanging with the friends, there's going to be a problem. Somebody like baking cookies every night and somebody only want to bake them once a year. Now, I've never been married, but ladies, I've been hearing from married men that once y'all get married, the oven gets shut down. Don't you deny him his God-given rights. Because it's women in Louisville who would love the bacon cookie. Shake and bake. And then you got religious activity versus inactivity. That's really important, especially for spiritual people. I got a brother right now, his wife got the white Jesus on the wall and won't take it down because she said that been in her family for 200 years. I said, yeah, so has slavery, honey. Burn that shit. Okay? Burn it! You don't bring no white Christ in my house. Some of y'all still got white Jesus. Raise your hand. Damn, white Jesus in the house. And then some of y'all got the black version looking like Lionel Richie. Stop! Extended family versus nuclear family. I was an adopted child. I'm speaking hypothetically. I was an adopted child. My wife comes from a big family. I'm only used to being me and my foster mom. She got aunts and 20 uncles and cousins, and they always over our damn house, and her mom be up there with her toes on my couch. We gonna have a problem because I thought when we got married, it would just be us and the kids. I didn't know you was bringing all them. Y'all gotta talk about that. If you come from a really small family and you marrying somebody with a big family, y'all got to have that conversation. Because they might have an open door policy. Because in the African culture, there's no nuclear. The whole family is immediate. You feel me? So every day you come home, there's a different relative sleeping on the couch. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Talk. All you got to do is talk. But see, you don't want to talk because you say, if they tell me the truth, I'm going to have to make a decision. And I don't want responsibility. I want them to lie to me so I can blame them later, even though I already knew. See how we like to play games? And then you have traditional versus non-traditional gender roles. Brothers, I already said it. Some women don't cook. Women, some men do not change the flat tire. Some of y'all married to these bougie dudes with no dirt under the fingernail. Okay, get his eyebrows arched every Friday. So hey baby, I broke down. I'm on the interstate. Can you come get me here? Sure. He shows up, gives you the jack, and say, call me when you get back on the road. By the way, do you want my coat? Because it's chilly. Some men don't take the trash out. I'm being honest. They expect a woman to take the trash out because their mother always took their trash out. You got to study the relationship that the man has with his mother. And even if it's healthy, you got to make sure that it's not sick. Are y'all following me? He may love his mother to death, but if it is an unhealthy thing where she has turned him into a damn overgrown boy, you don't want him. His mother still comes over his house and cleans and washes his clothes, and he's 35? You don't want no man like that. Fellas, you got to do the same thing. You dating a woman, and every time y'all have a problem, she call her father up. Daddy, Johnny's yelling. I tell her and her father where to go. You got to make sure, because some people got that relationship with their parents where they tell them all their business. Some people got that relationship with their girlfriends where they tell them all their business. Ladies, that's a big pet peeve amongst men. One of the biggest complaints I hear from black men is black women who cannot hold a damn secret. I had a situation not too long ago. The brother confessed to his wife that he was molested. She told her best friend, who told her best friend. You got to know how to be quiet. At the end of the day, the only person a black man can absolutely trust is the woman sleeping next to him. Ladies, you got to be able to hold your man's confidence. Everything ain't to be shared. And fellas, we got to do the same thing, because some of us can run our mouths too much. Keep the business in the home.
Then you got to talk to the kids and make sure they're not telling the business, because some of y'all kids tell everybody. Mommy and Daddy were fighting. Now, what I want to do now, I'm going to skip through some of this. Oh, I got to say something. This is very important. Listen to me. News alert, news alert, news alert. We have a growing population of black men and black women who are into the self-stimulation thing. European sex. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Ladies, toys, gadgets, things. Fellas, Jack and the Johnson. Listen to me well. No, listen. Psychologically, if you self-stimulate, ladies with toys, fellas with yourself, if you do that too much to the point of addiction, do you know what happens? Your brain begins to rewire itself and will only respond to that type of a climax. So now you are with your husband and you're enjoying the intimacy, but it's not pleasing you to that point, and you're getting frustrated because you don't understand how something so good cannot take you to the next level because you messed yourself up with all that self-stimulation. Fellas, the same thing. You want to keep on beating Billy? One page. You get married, and Billy don't respond to the most beautiful woman in Louisville, and you are frustrated like, how can this be? She is the bomb, small waist, boom, boom, pow. But guess what? Billy don't respond because you done beat him to death. Ladies, if you dating a man, back to the earlier question, how do I know if my man is sexually confused? You dating a man and he prefers non-traditional activities. I'm getting a lot of them emails too. My man only wants the reverse. Well, that's not supposed to even be taking place in our culture. That's not what that's for. But see, in European culture, they objectified every aspect of the woman's body. Things that were not even meant for pleasure are now pleasurable. Ears, teeth, everything! So black woman, if he prefers something non-traditional, and that's the only way he can climax is through something that's unhealthy, you can pretty much bet he's been into some other experiences. If that's what he craving, I got says, yeah, Dr. Umar, that's all he wants to do. Pack up and get out. I will call the cab. Something ain't healthy. Now let's talk about the unhealthy types of men that women need to stay away from. Ladies, most brothers in Louisville are good brothers, but you got a small few who are pimps, predators, players, couch potatoes, impregnators, and professionals. Now, what is a pimp? A pimp is a man who will use you for your economic resources. Credit card, money, car, house, pay my child support. He's a user. And once he sucks all your economic juice from you, he drops you and finds the next sucker. Who's at risk for being used? A sister with low self-esteem, because you will take any man as long as he's there. And then you got the player. The player is the opposite of the pimp. The pimp wants your economics. The player don't want your economics. He has his own economics. All he wants is one thing: the immortal cookie. And he likes all flavors: butter almond, butter pecan, caramel, sweet brown sugar, red raisin. He is the Louisville Cookie Monster. We got any Cookie Monsters in here? Louisville Cookie Monster. See, ladies, when you date a man, you got to ask yourself. Most men will keep something on the side until they find that right one. And then when they find that right one, they give up the rest. Because like, I found my queen dog, I'm good now. I'm turning my player card in. Burn it. But then other men will keep something on the side even after they found the right one. So sisters, when you date a man, you got to study. Is he a temporary player or is he a player for life? He 80 years old. With that cane, still out there trying to And fellas, women the same way. Some women will play until they find the right man. Girl, I found me a good brother. He's a conscious brother. I'm turning my player card in. And then other women will keep something on the side forever. That's right. We got some grandmoms out there. She's still swinging. Okay? With them Diana Ross high heels. And then we got the predator. The predator is the most dangerous man, black woman. Do you know who he is? Domestic violence. This is the man who knows how to make you feel like a queen until he separates you from your family and all your friends. Why you got to keep going to church with your mom every Sunday? Tell your mom you got a man now. You need to be home with me. Why you got to go out with your girlfriends every weekend? Tell them you got a man now. You should be home with me. He make you feel guilty about having relationships. And then once he gets you to yourself, he starts what? Verbally attacking you. Why don't you find something to do? You look like you're gaining too much weight. Why don't you get another job? He start beating you down verbally, like, what's going on? And then he start throwing stuff around the house. Knocking stuff down. Girl! Smacking stuff down. One day you come home and there's holes in the wall. And you like, why is my house got all these holes? Was there a drive-by? No, I was practicing. And then one day, that infamous smack comes. Black woman, I'm going to tell you, as a brother and as a psychologist, if he hits you once, he will hit you again. Because the tendency to hit a woman is not something you just think of in the moment. It is a seed that's been planted in the subconscious. He probably grew up in a house where that's where the men in the family control their women. He probably grew up in a house where the mother got beat. That is an intergenerational sickness. And you got to know when to pack the bags. But some of y'all make excuses. This is my husband. And I took an oath before the Lord. Do you think the Lord wanted you to get your head bashed in? We have kids together. I don't want to take my kids from their father. Oh, really? So if you stay in that relationship and he ends up killing you and then he goes to jail, the kids will be in foster care because you didn't know how to walk away from an unhappy situation. Well, look at this big house he brought me. He take care of me. Look at the car I drive. Oh, so materialism is more important than your health. Oh, you want your son to see his mother getting beat up, so when he grow up, he could beat his woman up. Is that what we're doing? No, you want your daughter to see her mom getting beat up, so when she grows up, she'll accept domestic abuse. Ladies, get out of the situation. If you don't want to get a divorce, make him get family therapy and personal therapy. But he got a problem. And it ain't your problem. And too many black women are suffering in silence because they don't want to turn their baby daddies in, because in most states, domestic violence is a felony. He already got one strike. You don't want to give him a second. And you don't want to look your kids in the face and say, I'm the reason your daddy doing 10 years. So I understand, black woman. I'm not going to tell you to call the cops, but you got to get the hell out of that situation. Most black women in America who are killed by the men who are supposed to love them. I got to know when enough is enough. Y'all see these stories. Well, he shot his girlfriend and shot himself. That ain't just white folks no more. Black folks crazy too now. Some of y'all see writing on the wall, but y'all don't want to read it. You went out with him on the first date and you knew something was wrong. Because he never blunked. He said, baby, we at the restaurant, the wind blowing, and he just keeps staring at me. And you went out again with him anyway, because you was lonely. It's better to be miserable by yourself than to be miserable with somebody else. And then we got to talk about the couch potato. This is a spoiled black man. His mother spoiled him. His mother turned him into an overgrown little boy, and he's looking for a woman who's going to be just like his mother. He ain't going to work. He wants you to work. He ain't going to clean. He wants you to clean. He don't want to go pick up the kids' report cards. He wants you to do it because his mother told him he was so special that he should have to do nothing but breathe. And so you come home from work and he's sitting on your couch with your remote control, with your robe, your do-rag, your flip-flops. And got a nerve to ask you what you cooking for dinner when his ass been home all day. And some of y'all go for it. Because a woman with low self-esteem want a man who don't work because she ain't got to worry about him leaving the house. And if he don't leave the house, can't nobody take him from her. And then we got the impregnator. This is real simple. Who the impregnator? He just go around making babies, dropping seeds all over Louisville. Don't take care of them and won't even tell you he got them. You say, hey baby, how many kids you got? I got two. A couple of weeks later, you heard from the hood, he got like 14. You said, wait a minute, baby, you told me you had 2 kids. He said, no, baby, I said I had too many to tell you about. And then you got the professional. Who's the professional? This is the black man who wants you to think he got more going on for himself than he actually does. I do security for Puff Daddy in New York. How the hell you get to Brooklyn from Louisville every day? Stop lying. Be yourself. And if I'm going to talk about the fellas, I got to talk about you too, ladies. You better stop. Because you ain't got no eyebrows. Fellas, these are the types of women you need to look out for. High maintenance, hopeless romantic, Miss Hot in the Pants, the healer, the homicidal heartthrob, and the home wrecker. Now, fellas, look at the women in the audience. Look how they get like, oh my God, am I up there? Oh my God, girl, are you up there? I think that's you right there. You know who high maintenance is? This is the woman who's all about buckets and money. She used to be a good woman, but she got used so much she became just like the men who used her. She the type of sister? I say, how you doing, sister? I'm Dr. Umar. I don't know what kind of doctor you are, but what are you driving? And how much do you make? I'm not into the Marcus Garvey thing, so that don't impress me. I didn't see the dashikis. I don't care to wear them. So that's high. She will use you. And who's a sucker for a high maintenance woman? A low self-esteem brother giving his paycheck over to a woman because she just looks so good. I want to pay her to be with me. And then we got the hopeless romantic. Who is this? The woman who falls in love with every man she meets on the first date. No cookies either. No cookies been cooked. Y'all went to McDonald's. Small fry, 2 cheeseburgers. Caramel sundae, and a bobblehead doll. McDonald's. Number 2. You dropped her off. You on the way home, and you getting text messages. I knew you were him. I know I sound crazy right now, but I can tell when God chose somebody for me. Because I deal with spirit. And my grandma deal with spirit. And my mama deal with spirit. And she said that I was going to marry a man with 6 letters in his first name. Excuse me, baby, my name is Mark. You're Mark Jr. 6 letters. And fellas, let me tell you something. If you deal with a hopeless romantic, a woman who falls in love with every man she meets, you got to be careful. Because if you take a cookie from her, that will be the last cookie you ever bake in your life. Because she's going to become a stalker. The hopeless romantic women are the stalkers. Oh, I don't give you no cookie and you act like you don't know me no more. Oh, really now? You're going to Dr. Umar's lecture? Let me shake my eyebrows off and make sure I'm over there in time. She's at your job. She's stalking you at the neighborhood bar. She's calling your mom up. You scared to go home from work. You pull up your block real slow. Hopeless romantic. You take a cookie from me, you will keep it forever. Sisters, raise your hand. Where my hopeless romantic sisters in here? You ain't letting nobody go. You's a baby. You keep your hand down a little bit. And then next we got Miss Hot in the Pants. That only take 2 seconds to talk about. Cookies is baking. They not done yet, but she giving them out anyway. Butter almond. Dark chocolate. Wait, they not done. I don't care. And then we got the healer. These tend to be sisters above the age of 40, but they can be beneath the age of 40. These are normally women who have been dating for a while and they have given up because they have not found what they're looking for. And the reason why they haven't found what they're looking for isn't because there's anything wrong with them. It's because they keep looking in the wrong damn places. You're never going to find anything different if all you're doing is picking up men at the bar, at the football game, at the swap meet. You got to meet them somewhere else for a change. So many women think something wrong with them when the problem is where you're looking. So you know what a lot of women do? They say, look, I'm not going to find what I want, so I'm going to make what I want. I'm going to pick up any brother I find, and I have a crystal ball, and I'm going to rub my invisible crystal ball, and I'm going to turn him into the next president of the United States. He might have been homeless for 20 years. He might have been in and out of the joint, but with my powers, I can fix him. Ladies, where my healer's at? Then you Your son come home, mommy, why is Mr. Johnny in your bed? Baby, Mr. Johnny fell on hard times. I didn't ask you that. Why is he in this house? Because I feel sorry for Mr. Johnny. Do you know Mr. Johnny used to be President Obama's assistant? Mama, Mr. Johnny older than President Obama. Ladies, you cannot change a man. Stop thinking you can change a man. I'm going to stop him from doing this. I'm going to make him do... No! Decide whether you can live with what you found or walk away. Stop trying to be a healer. Your crystal ball doesn't work. Especially my elder sisters. Elder sisters are good for trying to be a healer. You can't change nobody. You dating a man, he's 75, he's still wearing an Allen Iverson jersey with cornrows in his head at 75. And now he got a bald spot so the cornrow don't go all the way back. It stop it, then you got to start it again. And then we got to talk about the homicidal heartthrob. Fellas, drama queen. This is the woman who cannot talk about the problem. She got to fight it out. She curses, she screams, she threats, she comes to your job. She beats your mama up, your baby mama up, your lawyer up. She don't care! She thugged out. And you knew she was thugged out because on the first date, something about her just didn't make sense. She only had one eyebrow. She had 3 baby daddies' names and they was all crossed out with skull bones. You knew. She had 2 knife cuts and a gun wound. You knew. But you kept on. You know why you kept dealing with her crazy behind? Because crazy cookies are the best cookies. And you couldn't walk away from them. Yes. And then you say, well, I'm going to get a restraining order on you. I'm going to get a restraining order on you because I told you to stop disrespecting me. And she say a restraining order? I will use that for blunt paper if you don't get that out my face. You know how many of those I done had? I get 3 a year and you punk ass baby restraining order. She got your wife scared. Your wife. Honey, can you, your wife a bourgeois chick with a doctor. Fellas, if you know the girl is thrown off, why are you dealing with her? Especially if you're a professional brother like me, you can't afford that kind of drama. She just come to the lecture. Boom! I need to talk! Oh, meet me at the airport. No, now! And the last one is who? The home. Brothers, if you got a good wife, why are you taking a chance of losing your family on some garbage? Don't no woman want to play seconds. But y'all keep falling. Married men and men in relationships keep getting suckered. And I'm going to tell the sisters how this happens. And some of y'all, who the home wreckers? Any women home wreckers in here? See, these are women who don't think they can find a man of their own, so they just take everybody else's. They specialize in dealing with men who are in committed relationships because they're jealous of other women for having what they can't seem to get. And it starts off real easy, don't it, fellas? She say, look, I know you're in a relationship and I respect you. In fact, that's what I find attractive about you. A married brother, 2 kids. I just want a little bit of time. I'm not going to harm that. That's my sister. I just need my time. So the first year, you give her time. And then the second year, she says some more time. And you say, I can't keep giving you more. I told you I was married. Don't start that crazy stuff. And then she say, when you leaving her for me? Whoa. We never discussed that. I know, but that was before I cooked 3 cookies. When you coming home? You say, I'm not leaving my wife for you. You change your phone number. Don't call me no more. She can't. You change your email. You thought it was that simple, didn't you? Next day you come home, she in your house with your wife talking about you. And how you took her here and took her there and things you did with her. And all your bags is packed. And your son in the hallway looking at you like you are the dumbest I've ever. Fellas, the woman is only going to tell you she don't mind being a side woman so she could get a foothold in. But once she get the foothold in, she's going to kick the door open. And if you try to shut the door, she's going to do what? She's going to blackmail you. You can never win dealing with a woman because she's jealous of the fact that your wife got a husband. She ain't gonna stop. What black woman you know is gonna settle for being the secret? Black women talk too much to be a secret. And they don't like each other on top of it. Your wife looks 50 times better than her. She got one eye, and you think she ain't gonna tell nobody. How would you cheat? And then I look at the women y'all cheat with. They nothing like your wife. You threw over a marriage over this? Fellas. Now we come to the last slide. And we're going to wrap it up. I actually have a for sisters only relationships and dating seminar that I would love to do. But that got to be an all-female audience, where I really get deep. I teach you some stuff, sisters, to look out for. But the brothers can't beat it because I want to sell out the fraternity. You feel me? Personality disorders. These are real. We diagnose them in therapy. These are real. These are not made up. According to the scientific research, a person with a personality disorder has the least chance of getting married and staying married. So as I go through these personality disorders, I ask you, are you married to somebody with a personality disorder? Are you about to get married to somebody with a personality disorder? Are you the one with the personality disorder? Y'all ready? These are real. Pay attention. Dependent personality disorder. This is a man or a woman who don't feel like they can stand on their own 2 feet. They're like an overgrown child who always needs somebody with them. They need you to go with them when they go to the store. They need you to go with them when they go to the doctors. They need you to go with them to pick up a report card. They can't do nothing by themselves. They are dependent on you to walk them through life. You ever felt smothered in a relationship? If you ever felt smothered in a relationship, you probably was dealing with a man or a woman who had a dependent personality disorder. They never grew the hell up. These are real, and they cannot be fixed. A person with one of these will have them for the rest of their life. And where do these come from? Your family of origin, your childhood, who you were by the age of 12. The next one, schizoid. These are people who don't like to be touched. They don't want to hold hands in public. Don't get too close to me. After y'all get intimate, he gets up and go in his own room and lock the door. He don't want to hold you through the night. No, I need my space. You ever date somebody like that? Don't get too close to me. You only my wife. These are real people, spiritual vampires waiting for you tonight at the club. What club we going to tonight? I'm going clubbing in Louisville. Where?
No club.
No, I can't go there. I heard drop out. Next, borderline personality disorder. Fellas, you ever deal with a woman who you couldn't tell whether she was happy or sad? Y'all driving, at this stoplight she happy. Y'all talking, Dr. Umar was funny. And then the next light she crying, I don't want to live! You're like, damn, what happened? We just went from the block, damn it, 1 block! A person with borderline is normally women. It can be men, but it's normally a female disorder. These are people who cannot regulate their emotions at all. They go from happy to sad in 2 seconds. It's very close to bipolar, but it's not bipolar, but they're very similar. And let's deal with bipolar, because that's not a personality disorder, but some of y'all got that. Bipolar is manic depressive. That's somebody who goes from motivated and excited to sad and I don't want to live anymore. If you're dealing with somebody who's bipolar, you're going to be a nervous damn wreck because you cannot predict what they're going to do. Then you have obsessive compulsive person. Woo! Fellas, you ever date a woman? So when you walk in her house, take them shoes up to the closet. You sit on her couch, sit on the plastic. You go get some water, you left water in the sink, wipe it out with the napkins. You ain't allowed to do nothing in her house but stand. Ladies, if you have OCD, you cannot keep a man. No man can be with a woman who is constantly complaining about how unperfect things are. Men can be OCD, but it's mostly women. You are possessive about perfection. You see one piece of dirt on the floor and you go off. This is somebody who thinks they're going to catch the flu, so they wash their hands every 5 minutes, and now their hands is bleeding. And you like, baby, your hands is bleeding. No, baby, the flu's going around. You better wash yours until they bleed. No eyebrows. You better watch it. I love these next two. Now, we laughing about this, but when you get out there, you got to take this seriously. Some of y'all like, damn, I got to rework my whole relationship. He can drop some shit in or not. The next one, and I'm going to do them together. Histrionic and narcissistic personality disorder. Stay with me. These are my favorites. A histrionic woman is a woman who thinks she's God's gift to Louisville, Kentucky. If she did not live, Louisville would not be here. Histrionic and narcissistic is the female and male version of I'm God's gift to you disorder. You ever dated a histrionic woman, black man? This is a woman who can never get enough attention from you. She got to get attention from other men. There's just not enough attention in Louisville to go around. Whenever y'all go out, she dresses so provocatively that even if the lights go out, people can see it. You're like, baby, we only going to pick up our son's report card dress. We're not going to the damn Grammys. What are you wearing? She got this long ass dress like a wedding going to the report cards. And then she get mad at you and say, look, if you jealous that I look good, I can't stop them from looking at me. I'm going to look good with anything I wear. Okay, you don't like what I wear? You go in my closet. And then you go in the closet and it's like 100 fluorescent colored mini skirts. So it's like, damn, just come on, let's just go. Because everything she buys is provocative. Cleavage is all out. Now, I work in schools. In schools, it's easy to spot histrionic women. You want to know why? Because if you are the 6th grade math teacher, if you the 6th grade math, you teaching little kids, right? Why the hell you got on a mini skirt, cleavage, tramp stamp right here with your baby daddy name, stiletto high heels on, teaching a 6th grade math class, and you wonder why all the boys is spelling math, because they staring at your ass. And the thing about it, teachers could dress how they want, because most union rules, you cannot give the teachers a dress code. Did y'all know that? That's why they can dress just like the students, because in most unions, the teachers do not have a dress code. So if they want to wear a mini skirt, they can wear a mini skirt. If they want their baby daddy tattoo sticking out, they can do that too. That's right. Now, the sick thing about it is, why does a 35-year-old teacher want to entice 13-year-old boys? Okay? And sometimes fellas do it. They'll want to entice 13-year-old girls and come to class with one of them tight muscle shirts on. He don't know it's played out. He thought it was cute. And then you got narcissistic. Ladies, you ever date a man who thought he was God's gift to Louisville? He don't want to hear no complaints. Excuse me, quiet. You lucky I'm with your ass. Do you know how many women in Louisville want to be with me? I might be. I'm just doing charity right now with you. You complain one time and I'm going to drop you. You better start respecting my gangster. Better yet, I tell you what you do. You go down the street to Louisville High School, and I want you to look in that trophy cabinet, and when you see that state championship for football in 1978, I want you to know I was the starting quarterback. That's my picture with Lionel Richie at the state championships. And you like, you played out as dude. Ain't nothing special about you. Ladies, why would you marry a man who's a narcissist? Now, let me clarify. Some of y'all think y'all dating men who are narcissists. They're not. They're fake narcissists. A true narcissist and a fake narcissist ain't the same. A true narcissist is a man who really does have an elevated level of self-worship. A fake narcissist is a man who really got low self-esteem, but he likes to make you think he's God's gift. Are y'all following me, ladies? There's a difference. Are you dating a fake-ass narcissist or a real one? Okay. And then we got to talk about antisocial personality disorder. 3 more, then we're going to wrap. See, I want y'all to think. See, when y'all go home tonight, some of y'all ain't going to be the same after this.
No, sir.
I done seen like 10 of y'all bite all y'all nails off since we've been here. Antisocial is a black man or black woman who don't like people. They don't like people. This is normally men, but it can be women. Ladies, you ever date a man who nobody in your family liked him? None of your girlfriends liked him. You're losing family because nobody likes them. You cannot take them to a baby shower because there will be a fight. You cannot take them to a birthday party. You can't take him to the family reunion because he's too disrespectful. Your uncles will jump him. He goes to the family reunion, your grandmom see him. You know how grandma, hey baby, you look like you thirsty. Did I say I was thirsty? Now his lips is dry as hell, they bleed. Do I look like I'm thirsty? Did I say I needed some water? Do these lips look bad? I don't need no chapstick. I was the starting quarterback. Oh, I love Louisville.
Yes, sir.
Antisocial, don't like people. If you a social butterfly like Dr. Umar, I can never marry a woman who is antisocial. I like to be around people. I'm at lectures, and then she's sitting over there looking at all the women in the audience like, stop looking at my man. Stop looking at my, this is a damn lecture. What you expect them to do? Get out! No, it's hard dating when you're in the public eye, I'm telling you. Because women can't take all the other women. It's like everywhere you go, yeah, she asked you 3 questions. She didn't need 3 questions. She only needed 1. Would you sit down? Did you win any championships? And then we got depressive personality disorder. Oh my God. Have you ever dated or was married to somebody who is always sad for no damn reason? You come home, you had a good day. Hey baby, what is it? Damn, you take them to their favorite, they like Beyonce. You take your woman to the Beyonce concert. Everybody dancing. You look at her. I thought it would be better than this. Ladies, you threw him a surprise birthday party. You invited all his friends from college, high school, everybody. He shows up. What is this about? It's your birthday party. I preferred to be alone this year. Show of hands. Who's dealing with people like that right now? Always miserable for no damn reason. They are spiritual vampires. You better be careful. I couldn't date a woman like that. I used to date one in college, and I left her there. She was always sad. I'm telling you, we could go to a comedy. She would not crack a smile. You take them to invite you to meet your parents. It's just always droopy-eyed. She's so sad that in 5 minutes, everybody in the house be sad. And then we got the last, oh my goodness. And then I'm going to say one thing on polygamy, and then we'll end it up. Schizotypical. Some people are born weirdos. They looked at weird in kindergarten. They was weird in 5th grade. even when they won the state championship. And you can always tell. So ladies, you go out on a date, right? First date, right? You got a schizotypical weirdo, natural weirdo. So you down there, you at Outback or TGI, and y'all talking, but you notice he ain't responding to nothing you say. And so then you eating your salad, you getting your salad almost done. You look at him, he ain't touch his, and then he like this. And then you say, what's wrong, baby? You don't eat the salad? I just rather watch you eat it. And he's like, oh my God, I think he's crazy. But because you ain't been out on a date in a long time and he looked kind of cute, you just kind of tolerate it. So then y'all be dating for a while. No cookies, just date. So then one day you invite him over. No cookies, but y'all share the same bed, right? But no cookies. So you know how you go to sleep, y'all sleep, everything's cool. You know how 3 o'clock in the morning you roll over to get your stretch on? So you roll over in your bed and you don't feel nothing in it. So you say to yourself, where's he? So then you peek, you don't want to let him know you woke because you don't know if you're having a crazy fit. So you peek and you say, okay, the bathroom light is off. Then you peek in the hallway and you say, okay, the hallway light is off too. Where is this nigga? So then all of a sudden you feel something breathing from above. But you scared to look. So what you try to do is roll back over and act like you're stretching, so you do one of these. But he saw you peek. And so you decide to look up, and he's standing over your bed like this. So then you try to act like you don't see him, and you roll over again. And then you start reaching for your cell phone because you want to hit the emergency button. So you reach it, and you're like, where's my phone? Where's my iPhone? But you playing it off. And then all of a sudden, he passes it to you. Is this what you're looking for? Don't let weird people in your house. If their eyes don't blink, this is what you do. I want you to go to the dollar store and get the $2 fan. And on the first date, blow it and see. Last word on polygamy. Some men prefer more than one woman. I'm going to have 2 wives. I am. That's me. So don't flirt with me if you don't want to be a co-wife. But I'm honest about it. Because I believe I should double up. If one of my wives go crazy, the other one is still sane. But here's the problem with polygamy, ladies. There's not enough brothers to go around. So when do we deal with the objective reality that it ain't enough? Now don't get me wrong, because some of y'all saying what you're saying, we should just be no. Men ain't ready for it either. Black men ain't ready for polygamy. If you're going to have 2 wives, you got to be able to take care of 2 households. There's no romance without finance, so I understand the black woman. But what I want the black woman to understand is this. Most of you are opposed to polygamy because you've only seen it in a masculine form. I grew up Muslim, and there was polygamy in Islam, and it was all masculine. The man ran it. He decided when he was going to have another wife, and there wasn't much you can do about it. That's what y'all see, but you never saw polygamy in the African context. Study polygamy. In the African context, it was the elder women, the queen mothers, who created polygamy because they wanted every woman to not be without a man. Because they knew that if we had some women with men and some women without men, the women without would start sharing with the women who have them, and you will have chaos. And that's what you got in Louisville now. Holy chaos. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. A woman goes out with her man. She comes to a Dr. Umar lecture. What's the first thing a black woman do with her husband? She scans the crowd for competition. And the whole rest of the night, she ain't feeling comfortable because she sees something over there that look good, and she know he like women who look good. So now she don't feel comfortable because she know that this is a room full of women without men who looking for men. And so you know what it does? It erodes the sisterhood. One of the biggest issues amongst black women is the competition for so few black men. I see it in therapy all the time. Cousins, sisters even. conflict because it ain't enough. Do we need polygamy forever? No. Once we fix our problems, we can go back to one man, one woman. You don't need polygamy if you got an equal number of men and women. But right now, we at war, and we got all these single mothers raising all these kids on their own. They need a man in that damn house. Now, a lot of you women here, you can afford to be with one man because you look good and you got it going on. But what about your sisters who ain't got your education? What about your sisters who ain't got your job? What about the women in the projects who got 5 or 6 kids and would love to share a man because they want one? See, we got to look at the community. Now, it's not natural for a woman to want to share her husband. Who wants to share their husband? You don't do it because you want to. You do it because the community needs you. But fellas, we got to get our act right first. We can't do it tomorrow. I don't want nobody going out here and saying, Umar said all the men can have 2 wives. No, because black men, let's be honest, we have sexually objectified our women. Like the slave master did. Exactly. And until we de-objectify black women, we cannot do no polygamy. So we got years before we can do something like this. But I think black women need to have a conference by themselves where y'all have that conversation. Last thing I want to say. If I was in charge of polygamy in Louisville, this is how it would work. We would have 16 couples, married couples, 16 women, 16 men, husband and wife. Everybody was married for at least 20 years, happily married, they're all elders. Dr. Umar wants a wife, I gotta go amongst the 16 elders, couples, and apply for a wife. And they interview me, they see if I'm ready, and then I have to go to a mandatory manhood training program. Oh yes, look at the brother, I ain't say all that shit. Okay? And then after I go through the program, they say, okay, you can have your first wife. So all the women are organized. So we know who need a husband and who's looking for one. So they say, okay, Dr. Umar, your first wife can come from the A group. The A group of women who never been married. No kids, no nothing. They gorgeous, they fine, they the ones every man dream about marrying. But you only get one, black man. Were you ready for your second wife? And you can only have a second wife after you've been married to the first wife for 3 to 5 years, because we got to make sure you know what the hell you're doing first. There is no 2 at the same time. There's 1 and 1 later. So then you come back for your second wife. The elders say, okay, we're going to give you another wife. They talk to the first wife, talk to the kids. They say you get a second wife, and then guess what happens? You get a wife from the B group. These are sisters who might have been divorced. These are sisters who got a little bit of baggage, but it ain't much. They still got it going on. They might got a couple kids, but they got it going on. So you get your second wife from the B group. So then a couple years go by, and you say, I'm really liking this. So then you go to the elders again for your third wife. So they say, okay, you check out. You got enough money. You can take care of it. Your 2 wives are happy. We're going to give you a third wife, and she's going to come from the C group. Now, C means be a little bit more careful this time around. Now, women in the C group got a little bit more baggage. Some of them can have kids at all. Some of them got permanent STDs. Some of them got terminal illnesses. They got some baggage. But if you claim to be taking on a third wife for the sake of the community, then you're going to take on one who needs a husband, not necessarily what you want. See, black men, a lot of us think that if we're going to have more than one wife, we're just going to take all the good-looking women in Louisville with no kids and leave all the other women. It don't work like that. Under a true polygamous arrangement, a woman with 10 kids and no education has just as much chance of getting married as the best-looking queen in Louisville. It must be equitable for all the women, not just the good-looking sisters. So then, in my system, you only get 4 wives. So I go for my last wife. They say, okay, you get your 4th wife. She coming from the D list. Do you know what D stand for? Dangerous. Now who's in the D list? These sisters, they got a little bit more back. Some of them did hard time for shooting it. She might got 2 or 3 strikes. She might have shot her baby dad by accident. She ain't know it was him coming in. Okay? She might got a little bit of Adderall, some Ritalin, some Zoloft. She got a little prescription. She might see things once in a while. Okay? But that's your 4th wife. Now, fellas, before you criticize the 4th wife, think about it. She got a record. She know how to rumble. So guess what? Anytime you got beat, she got you. In fact, your 4th wife is going to keep the other 3 in line. Hold tight. She come in the house, boom! My husband told you to have them kids clean. He told you to have the food. And he told you to pay the bills. So this is what I'm going to do because I feel myself about to snap. I'm gonna walk to the store and get me 2 Lucy's. And by the time I come back, you better have it right or I'm gonna bust a cap. She the best wife you got. You got me, Dr. Umar, I'm having a lecture, right? Y'all don't want to stand in line for me to sign the books? She gonna handle it. Ain't no books getting signed until I see a line from my man. And then she take off that ski mask and you see one eye. And you know she not playing with you. You running late, you coming home late. You just got a phone call. Somebody jumped your son at the school. 10 guys is beating your son down. You call your wife. You all on the other side of town. Baby, I'm on my way, but I know you close. Can you just go by there and try to grab John up? They said he getting beat up. Baby, stay put. I'm your wife. No, baby, don't do nothing crazy. I just want you to grab. Baby, you gotta trust me. We took a vow. So guess what? 10 minutes later, you trying to get to the school as fast as you can because you know she ain't got no sense. But before you can get to the school, the news came across. There was a drive-by at the local elementary school. 10 kids was laying in the street. You say, baby, I hope that wasn't you. But what do you think I would do? I'm your baby. In conclusion, Black Louisville, I want to say that this first visit was a very beautiful one for me. I met a lot of good people. I hope it's not my last visit. Okay, it's been a wonderful day. If you need any help from Dr. Umar, you know how to reach me.
I run into a lot of black women who meet some good brothers, good men, but the men were hurt in a previous relationship, so they got a big prison around their heart. So the woman is like, I love this man, but he won't let me love him. And then what is my question to you, sister? Can you live with him as he is if he never changed until the day you die? And your answer is no. But because he's the best thing you found, you try to accommodate yourself to him, and it never works. You cannot cheat spirit. You cannot. And then some of us rush. Fellas, we get into marriages. Women, we get into marriages with people who was good, but it really wasn't what we was looking for. And what happens? Right after you get married, you run into the man of your damn dreams. And now you scratching your head like, uh-oh, I made a commitment to God, but I'm feeling his energy. Fellas, I made a commitment to God, but that's the one. She was the one. Too late, you rushed. If you ain't content with what you got, what the hell you taking it home for? Some of us make better decisions with our cars and our hair than we do in relationships. You go buy a car, you want to test drive the car, you want to see the damn Carfax. You married his ass, you ain't seen no facts. These are the values. If somebody like to save and somebody like to spend, there's going to be a problem. Somebody like hanging with the family, somebody like hanging with the friends, there's going to be a problem. Somebody like baking cookies every night and somebody only want to bake them once a year. Now, I've never been married, but ladies, I've been hearing from married men that once y'all get married, the oven gets shut down. Don't you deny him his God-given rights. Because there's women in Louisville who would love the bacon cookie. Shake and bake. And then you got religious activity versus inactivity. That's really important, especially for spiritual people. I got a brother right now, his wife got the white Jesus on the wall and won't take it down because she said that been in her family for 200 years. I said, yeah, so has slavery, honey. Burn that shit. Okay? Burn it! You don't bring no white Christ in my house. Some of y'all still got white Jesus. Raise your hand. Damn, white Jesus in the house. And then some of y'all got the black version looking like Lionel Richie. Stop! Extended family versus nuclear family. I was an adopted child. I'm speaking hypothetically. I was an adopted child. My wife comes from a big family. I'm only used to being me and my foster mom. She got aunts and 20 uncles and cousins, and they always over our damn house, and her mom be up there with her toes on my couch. We gonna have a problem because I thought when we got married, it would just be us and the kids. I didn't know you was bringing all them. Y'all gotta talk about that. If you come from a really small family and you marrying somebody with a big family, y'all got to have that conversation. Because they might have an open door policy. Because in the African culture, there's no nuclear. The whole family is immediate. You feel me? So every day you come home, there's a different relative sleeping on the couch. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Talk. All you got to do is talk. But see, you don't want to talk because you say, if they tell me the truth, I'm going to have to make a decision. And I don't want responsibility. I want them to lie to me so I can blame them later, even though I already knew. See how we like to play games? And then you have traditional versus non-traditional gender roles. Brothers, I already said it. Some women don't cook. Women, some men do not change the flat tire. Some of y'all married to these bougie dudes with no dirt under the fingernail. Okay, get his eyebrows arched every Friday. So you, hey baby, I broke down. I'm on the interstate. Can you come get me here? Sure. He shows up, gives you the jack, and say, call me when you get back on the road. By the way, do you want my coat? Because it's chilly. Some men don't take the trash out. I'm being honest. They expect a woman to take the trash out because their mother always took their trash out. You got to study the relationship that the man has with his mother. And even if it's healthy, you got to make sure that it's not sick. Are y'all following me? He may love his mother to death, but if it is an unhealthy thing where she has turned him into a damn overgrown boy, you don't want him. His mother still comes over his house and cleans and washes his clothes, and he's 35? You don't want no man like that. Fellas, you got to do the same thing. You dating a woman, and every time y'all have a problem, she call her father up, Daddy, Johnny's yelling. I tell her and her father where to go. You got to make sure, because some people got that relationship with their parents where they tell them all their business. Some people got that relationship with their girlfriends where they tell them all their business. Ladies, that's a big pet peeve amongst men. One of the biggest complaints I hear from black men is black women who cannot hold a damn secret. I had a situation not too long ago. The brother confessed to his wife that he was molested. She told her best friend, who told her best friend. You got to know how to be quiet. At the end of the day, the only person a black man can absolutely trust is the woman sleeping next to him. Ladies, you got to be able to hold your man's confidence. Everything ain't to be shared. And fellas, we got to do the same thing, because some of us can run our mouths too much. Keep the business in the home.
Then you got to talk to the kids and make sure they're not telling the business, because some of y'all kids tell everybody. Mommy and Daddy were fighting. Now, what I want to do now, I'm going to skip through some of this. Oh, I got to say something. This is very important. Listen to me. News alert, news alert, news alert. We have a growing population of black men and black women who are into the self-stimulation thing. European sex. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Ladies, toys, gadgets, things. Fellas, Jack and the Johnson. Listen to me well. No, listen. Psychologically, if you self-stimulate, ladies with toys, fellas with yourself, if you do that too much to the point of addiction, do you know what happens? Your brain begins to rewire itself and will only respond to that type of a climax. So now you are with your husband and you're enjoying the intimacy, but it's not pleasing you to that point, and you're getting frustrated because you don't understand how something so good cannot take you to the next level because you messed yourself up with all that self-stimulation. Fellas, the same thing. You want to keep on beating Billy? One day, you get married, and Billy don't respond to the most beautiful woman in Louisville, and you are frustrated, like, how can this be? She is the bomb, small waist, boom, boom, pow. But guess what? Billy don't respond because you done beat him to death. Ladies, if you dating a man, back to the early question, how do I know if my man is sexually confused? You dating a man and he prefers non-traditional activities. I've been getting a lot of them emails too. My man only wants the reverse. Well, that's not supposed to even be taking place in our culture. That's not what that's for. But see, in European culture, they objectified every aspect of the woman's body. Things that were not even meant for pleasure are now pleasurable. Ears, teeth, everything! So black woman, if he prefers something non-traditional, and that's the only way he can climax is through something that's unhealthy, you can pretty much bet he's been into some other experiences. If that's what he craving, I got sisters, yeah, Dr. Umar, that's all he wants to do. Pack up and get out. I will call the cab. Something ain't healthy. Now let's talk about the unhealthy types of men that women need to stay away from. Ladies, most brothers in Louisville are good brothers, but you got a small few who are pimps, predators, players, couch potatoes, impregnators, and professionals. Now what is a pimp? A pimp is a man who will use you for your economic resources. Credit card, money, car, house, pay my child support. He's a user. And once he sucks all your economic juice from you, he drops you and finds the next sucker. Who's at risk for being used? A sister with low self-esteem, because you will take any man as long as he's there. And then you got the player. The player is the opposite of the pimp. The pimp wants your economics. The player don't want your economics. He has his own economics. All he wants is one thing: the immortal cookie. And he likes all flavors: butter almond, butter pecan, caramel, sweet brown sugar, red raisin. He is the Louisville Cookie Monster. We got any cookie monsters in here? Louisville Cookie Monster. See, ladies, when you date a man, you got to ask yourself. Most men will keep something on the side until they find that right one. And then when they find that right one, they give up the rest. Because like, I found my queen, dog. I'm good now. I'm turning my player card in. Burn it. But then other men will keep something on the side even after they found the right one. So sisters, when you date a man, you got to study. Is he a temporary player or is he a player for life? He 80 years old. With that cane, still out there trying to And fellas, women the same way. Some women will play until they find the right man. Girl, I found me a good brother, he's a conscious brother. I'm turning my player card in. And then other women will keep something on the side forever. That's right, we got some grandmoms out there, she's still swinging. Okay? With them Diana Ross high heels. And then we got the predator. The predator is the most dangerous man, black woman. Do you know who he is? Domestic violence. This is the man who knows how to make you feel like a queen until he separates you from your family and all your friends. Why you got to keep going to church with your mom every Sunday? Tell your mom you got a man now. You need to be home with me. Why you got to go out with your girlfriends every weekend? Tell them you got a man now. You should be home with me. He make you feel guilty about having relationships. And then once he gets you to yourself, he starts what? Verbally attacking you. Why don't you find something to do? You look like you're gaining too much weight. Why don't you get another job? He start beating you down verbally, like, what's going on? And then he start throwing stuff around the house. Knocking stuff down. Girl! Smacking stuff down. One day you come home and there's holes in the wall, and you like, why is my house got all these holes? Was there a drive-by? No, I was practicing. And then one day, that infamous smack comes. Black woman, I'm going to tell you, as a brother and as a psychologist, if he hits you once, he will hit you again. Because the tendency to hit a woman is not something you just think of in the moment. It is a seed that's been planted in the subconscious. He probably grew up in a house where that's where the men in the family control their women. He probably grew up in a house where the mother got beat. That is an intergenerational sickness. And you got to know when to pack the bags. But some of y'all make excuses. This is my husband. And I took an oath before the Lord. Do you think the Lord wanted you to get your head bashed in? We have kids together. I don't want to take my kids from their father. Oh, really? So if you stay in that relationship and he ends up killing you and then he goes to jail, the kids will be in foster care because you didn't know how to walk away from an unhappy situation. Well, look at this big house he brought me. He take care of me. Look at the car I drive. Oh, so materialism is more important than your health. Oh, you want your son to see his mother getting beat up so when he grow up, he could beat his woman up. Is that what we're doing? No, you want your daughter to see her mom getting beat up so when she grows up, she'll accept domestic abuse. Ladies, get out of the situation. If you don't want to get a divorce, make him get family therapy and personal therapy. But he got a problem. And it ain't your problem. And too many black women are suffering in silence because they don't want to turn their baby daddies in because in most states, domestic violence is a felony. He already got one strike. You don't want to give him a second. And you don't want to look your kids in the face and say, I'm the reason your daddy doing 10 years. So I understand, black women. I'm not going to tell you to call the cops, but you got to get the hell out of that situation. Most black women in America who are killed by the men who're supposed to love them. Y'all got to know when enough is enough. Y'all see these stories. Well, he shot his girlfriend and shot himself. That ain't just white folks no more. Black folks crazy too now. Some of y'all see writing on the wall, but y'all don't want to read it. You went out with him on the first date and you knew something was wrong. Because he never blunked. He said, baby, we at the restaurant, the wind blowing, and he just keeps staring at me. And you went out again with him anyway, because you was lonely. It's better to be miserable by yourself than to be miserable with somebody else. And then we got to talk about the couch potato. This is a spoiled black man. His mother spoiled him. His mother turned him to an overgrown little boy, and he's looking for a woman who will be just like his mother. He ain't going to work. He wants you to work. He ain't going to clean. He wants you to clean. He don't want to go pick up the kids' report cards. He wants you to do it because his mother told him he was so special that he should have to do nothing but breathe. And so you come home from work and he's sitting on your couch with your remote control, with your robe, your do-rag, your flip-flops. And got a nerve to ask you what you cooking for dinner when his ass been home all day. And some of y'all go for it. Because a woman with low self-esteem want a man who don't work because she ain't got to worry about him leaving the house. And if he don't leave the house, can't nobody take him from her. And then we got the impregnator. This is real simple. Who the impregnator? He just go around making babies, dropping seeds all over Louisville. Don't take care of them and won't even tell you he got them. You say, hey baby, how many kids you got? I got two. A couple of weeks later, you heard from the hood, he got like 14. You said, wait a minute, baby, you told me you had 2 kids. He said, no, baby, I said I had too many to tell you about. And then you got the professional. Who's the professional? This is the black man who wants you to think he got more going on for himself than he actually does. I do security for Puff Daddy in New York. How the hell you get to Brooklyn from Louisville every day? Stop lying. Be yourself. And if I'm going to talk about the fellas, I got to talk about you too, ladies. You better stop. Because you ain't got no eyebrows. Fellas, these are the types of women you need to look out for. High maintenance, hopeless romantic, Miss Hot in the Pants, the healer, the homicidal heartthrob, and the home wrecker. Now, fellas, look at the women in the audience. Look how they get like, oh my God, am I up there? Oh my God, girl, are you up there? I think that's you right there. You know who high maintenance is? This is the woman who's all about buckets and money. She used to be a good woman, but she got used so much she became just like the men who used her. She the type of sister? I say, how you doing, sister? I'm Dr. Umar. I don't know what kind of doctor you are, but what are you driving? And how much do you make? I'm not into the Marcus Garvey thing, so that don't impress me. I didn't see the dashikis. I don't care to wear them. So that's high. She will use you. And who's a sucker for a high maintenance woman? A low self-esteem brother giving his paycheck over to a woman because she just looks so good. I want to pay her to be with me. And then we got the hopeless romantic. Who is this? The woman who falls in love with every man she meets on the first date. No cookies either. No cookies been cooked. Y'all went to McDonald's. Small fry, 2 cheeseburgers. Caramel sundae, and a bobblehead doll. McDonald's, number 2. You dropped her off, you on the way home, and you getting text messages. I knew you were him. I know I sound crazy right now, but I can tell when God chose somebody for me. Because I deal with spirit, and my grandma dealt with spirit, and my mama dealt with spirit. And she said that I was going to marry a man with 6 letters in his first name. Excuse me, baby, my name is Mark. You're Mark Jr. 6 letters. And fellas, let me tell you something. If you deal with a hopeless romantic, a woman who falls in love with every man she meets, you got to be careful, because if you take a cookie from her, that will be the last cookie you ever bake in your life, because she's going to become a stalker. The hopeless romantic women are the stalkers. Oh, I don't give you no cookie and you act like you don't know me no more. Oh, really now? You're going to Dr. Umar's lecture? Let me shake my eyebrows off and make sure I'm over there in time. She's at your job. She's stalking you at the neighborhood bar. She's calling your mom up. You scared to go home from work. You pull up your block real slow. Hopeless romantic. You take a cookie from me, you will keep it forever. Sisters, raise your hand. Where my hopeless romantic sisters in here? You ain't letting nobody go. You's a baby. You keep your hand down, little boy. And then next we got Miss Hot in the Pants. That only take 2 seconds to talk about. Cookies is baking. They not done yet, but she giving them out anyway. Butter almond. Dark chocolate. Wait, they not done. I don't care. And then we got the healer. These tend to be sisters above the age of 40, but they can be beneath the age of 40. These are normally women who have been dating for a while and they have given up because they have not found what they're looking for. And the reason why they haven't found what they're looking for isn't because there's anything wrong with them. It's because they keep looking in the wrong damn places. You're never going to find anything different if all you're doing is picking up men at the bar, at the football game, at the swap meet. You got to meet them somewhere else for a change. So many women think something wrong with them when the problem is where you're looking. So you know what a lot of women do? They say, look, I'm not going to find what I want, so I'm going to make what I want. I'm going to pick up any brother I find, and I have a crystal ball, and I'm going to rub my invisible crystal ball, and I'm going to turn him into the next president of the United States. He might have been homeless for 20 years. He might have been in and out of the joint, but with my powers, I can fix him. Ladies, where my healer's at? Your son come home, mommy, why is Mr. Johnny in your bed? Baby, Mr. Johnny fell on hard times. I didn't ask you that. Why is he in this house? Because I feel sorry for Mr. Johnny. Do you know Mr. Johnny used to be President Obama's assistant? Mama, Mr. Johnny older than President Obama. Ladies, you cannot change a man. Stop thinking you can change a man. I'm going to stop him from doing this. I'm going to make him do... No! Decide whether you can live with what you found or walk away. Stop trying to be a healer. Your crystal ball doesn't work. Especially my elder sisters. Elder sisters are good, but trying to be a healer. You can't change nobody. You dating a man, he's 75, he's still wearing an Allen Iverson jersey with cornrows in his head at 75. And now he got a bald spot so the cornrow don't go all the way back. It's stopping, then you got to start it again. And then we got to talk about the homicidal heartthrob. Fellas, drama queen. This is the woman who cannot talk about the problem. She got to fight it out. She curses, she screams, she threats, she comes to your job. She beats your mama up, your baby mama up, your lawyer up. She don't care! She thugged out. And you knew she was thugged out because on the first date, something about her just didn't make sense. She only had one eyebrow. She had 3 baby daddies' names and they was all crossed out with skull bones. You knew. She had 2 knife cuts in a gun wound. You knew. But you kept her. You know why you kept dealing with her crazy behind? Because crazy cookies are the best cookies. And you couldn't walk away from them. Yes. And then you say, well, I'm going to get a restraining order on you. I'm going to get a restraining order on you because I told you to stop disrespecting me. And she say, a restraining order? I will use that for blunt paper if you don't get that out my face. You know how many of those I done had? I get 3 a year and you punk ass bring me a restraining order. She got your wife scared. Your wife. Honey, can you, your wife a bourgeois chick with a doctor. Fellas, if you know the girl is thrown off, why are you dealing with her? Especially if you're a professional brother like me, you can't afford that kind of drama. She just come to the lecture. Boom! I need to talk! Oh, meet me at the airport. No, now! And the last one is who? The home. Brothers, if you got a good wife, why are you taking a chance of losing your family on some garbage? Don't no woman want to play seconds. But y'all keep falling. Married men and men in relationships keep getting suckered. And I'm going to tell the sisters how this happens. And some of y'all, who the home wreckers? Any women home wreckers in here? See, these are women who don't think they can find a man of their own, so they just take everybody else's. They specialize in dealing with men who are in committed relationships because they're jealous of other women for having what they can't seem to get. And it starts off real easy, don't it, fellas? She say, look, I know you're in a relationship, and I respect you. In fact, that's what I find attractive about you. A married brother, 2 kids. I just want a little bit of time. I'm not going to harm that. That's my sister. I just need my time. So the first year, you give her time, and then the second year, she says some more time. And you say, I can't keep giving you more. I told you I was married. Don't start that crazy stuff. And then she say, when you leaving her for me? Whoa! We never discussed that. I know, but that was before I cooked 3 cookies. When you coming home? You say, I'm not leaving my wife for you. You change your phone number. Don't call me no more. She can't. You change your email. You thought it was that simple, didn't you? Next day you come home, she in your house with your wife talking about you. And how you took her here and took her there and things you did with her. And all your bags is packed. And your son in the hallway looking at you like you are the dumbest father. Fellas, the woman is only going to tell you she don't mind being a side woman so she could get a foothold in. But once she get the foothold in, she's going to kick the door open. And if you try to shut the door, she's going to do what? She's going to blackmail you. You can never win dealing with a woman because she's jealous of the fact that your wife got a husband. She ain't going to stop. What black woman you know is going to settle for being the secret? Black women talk too much to be a secret. And they don't like each other on top of it. Your wife looks 50 times better than her. She got one eye, and you think she ain't gonna tell nobody. How would you cheat? And then I look at the women y'all cheat with. They nothing like your wife. You threw over a marriage over this? Fellas. Now we come to the last slide, and we're going to wrap it up. I actually have a for sisters only relationships and dating seminar that I would love to do, but that got to be an all-female audience, where I really get deep. I teach you some stuff, sisters, to look out for. But the brothers can't beat it because I want to sell out the fraternity, you feel me? Personality disorders. These are real. We diagnose them in therapy. These are real. These are not made up. According to the scientific research, a person with a personality disorder has the least chance of getting married and staying married. So as I go through these personality disorders, I ask you, are you married to somebody with a personality disorder? Are you about to get married to somebody with a personality disorder? Are you the one with the personality disorder? Y'all ready? These are real. Pay attention. Dependent personality disorder. This is a man or a woman who don't feel like they can stand on their own 2 feet. They're like an overgrown child who always needs somebody with them. They need you to go with them when they go to the store. They need you to go with them when they go to the doctors. They need you to go with them to pick up a report card. They can't do nothing by themselves. They are dependent on you to walk them through life. You ever felt smothered in a relationship? If you've ever felt smothered in a relationship, you probably was dealing with a man or a woman who had a dependent personality disorder. They never grew the hell up. These are real, and they cannot be fixed. A person with one of these will have them for the rest of their life. And where do these come from? Your family of origin, your childhood, who you were by the age of 12. The next one, schizoid. These are people who don't like to be touched. They don't want to hold hands in public. Don't get too close to me. After y'all get intimate, he gets up and go in his own room and lock the door. He don't want to hold you through the night. No, I need my space. You ever date somebody like that? Don't get too close to me. You only my wife. These are real people, spiritual vampires waiting for you tonight at the club. What club we going to tonight? I'm going clubbing in Louisville. Where?
I don't club.
No, I can't go there. I heard drop out. Next, borderline personality disorder. Fellas, you ever deal with a woman who you couldn't tell whether she was happy or sad? Y'all driving, at this stoplight she happy. Y'all talking, Dr. Umar was funny. And then the next light she crying, I don't want to live! You're like, damn, what happened? We just went from the clock, damn it, won't clock! A person with borderline is normally women. It can be men, but it's normally a female disorder. These are people who cannot regulate their emotions at all. They go from happy to sad in 2 seconds. It's very close to bipolar, but it's not bipolar, but they're very similar. And let's deal with bipolar, because that's not a personality disorder, but some of y'all got that. Bipolar is manic depressive. That's somebody who goes from motivated and excited to sad and I don't want to live anymore. If you're dealing with somebody who's bipolar, you're going to be a nervous damn wreck because you cannot predict what they're going to do. Then you have obsessive compulsive personality. Woo! Fellas, you ever date a woman? So when you walk in her house, take them shoes up to the closet. You sit on her couch, sit on the plastic. You go get some water, you left water in the sink, wipe it out with the napkins. You ain't allowed to do nothing in her house but stand. Ladies, if you have OCD, you cannot keep a man. No man can be with a woman who is constantly complaining about how unperfect things are. Men can be OCD, but it's mostly women. You are possessive about perfection. You see one piece of dirt on the floor and you go off. This is somebody who thinks they're going to catch the flu, so they wash their hands every 5 minutes, and now their hands is bleeding. And you like, baby, your hands is bleeding. No, baby, the flu's going around. You better wash yours until they bleed. No eyebrows. You better wash it. I love these next two. Now, we laughing about this, but when you get out there, you got to take this seriously. Some of y'all like, damn, I got to rework my whole relationship. He can drop some shit here tonight. The next one, and I'm going to do them together. Histrionic and narcissistic personality disorder. Stay with me. These are my favorites. A histrionic woman is a woman who thinks she's God's gift to Louisville, Kentucky. If she did not live, Louisville would not be here. Histrionic and narcissistic is the female and male version of I'm God's gift to you disorder. You ever dated a histrionic woman, black man? This is a woman who can never get enough attention from you. She got to get attention from other men. There's just not enough attention in Louisville to go around. Whenever y'all go.
If they're 1 to 3, the one with the confidence and who got something to bring to the table. Ladies, never appear desperate. Like my sisters, when you get into your 30s, sisters who get to their 30s, they start looking at the biological clock. I'm 33, just got my master's, I ain't got no kids, but I gotta get married first. Brothers know what I'm talking about. You ever went out with a sister like in her mid-30s with no kids? That date like a track race. I gotta be married by next summer, engaged by the following summer. I need to have my first. Damn, you don't even know my last name. Sister, don't be pushy. Be natural. Never appear desperate. Desperate is not attractive. I'm telling you. And whether you're a man or a woman, never tell people that you stand for certain principles you ain't gonna keep. Oh, we good for that. We good for that. I don't give out no cookies until I've been with a man for a year. And then you done gave them out. Be quiet. If the oven is baking, what you lying for? You like to let that steam out. It's real. Brother say, yeah, I don't chase no woman. If a woman don't want me, I just let her go on. First time she don't answer her phone, you stalking her. Who you lying to? We got to be real. And then a lot of us get married for materialism. Oh, my wife is a lawyer. She make over $150,000. So that don't mean you're going to be happy. My husband is an engineer. He's the chief of his firm. And since when did money make people happy? Look at Hollywood. They crazy as hell. Don't no money make nobody happy. What's the two biggest factors of life happiness? Do you know what they are? You know what the two biggest factors of life happiness? It ain't got nothing to do with how good your wife look, how much money your husband will make. The two biggest factors of life happiness is, do you love what you do for a living? And do you love who you spending your life with? So you mean the fact that you working on your law degree ain't got nothing to do with how happy you're going to be? No, it might make your ass miserable when you're done. Do you like what you do? When you get up and go to work, do you like that? And if you don't like your job, do you have something you do after work that gives your life some meaning? And do you love who you spending your life with? Oh, I married her because she got pregnant. I grew up in the church. And now you're miserable. You got to choose your husband patiently. You got to choose your wife patiently. Love doesn't have to be rushed. It can wait. And we got to stop getting married just because we love people. That is not enough. Love is an emotion. It can change. Why did you marry her? I loved her. But y'all had nothing in common. See, you got to have values in common. Not surface stuff. I'm a psychologist, she's a psychologist. She Pan-African, I'm Pan-African. Her parents were married, my parents were married. It looks like we equally yoked. No, we not, because I like to spend money and she like to save it. I believe in God, she can't stand God. I want to have a big family with kids and be home all weekend with the kids, and she want to run the streets with her girlfriends. But y'all didn't talk about this before y'all got married? Because you got married for an emotion? Love goes up, love goes down, love can even disappear. So getting married for an emotion is nothing good. In fact, love, I don't even need that. Do you see what people do who love each other after they break up? I don't want none of that. They try to destroy each other's economic life, their destiny, keep the kids away from them, blow their cars up. Love. Y'all know what the hell I'm talking about. I don't want that. What I want is a sister's commitment and trust. We can build on that. If you're going into business, are you going to go into business with somebody just because you love them? You want to open up a corner store. Are you going to go into business with me, open up a corner store just because you love me? Does that got anything to do with your decision? Marriage is a business. Yes, there's feelings involved, but it's a business. And if you don't believe me, as soon as the marriage is over, all y'all talk about is the business. So you got to make sure the business is right. Can this woman raise your kids if you die? Can that man raise your kids if you die? And the other thing, we always talk about being equally yoked. You know what we need to be equally yoked? We need to be equally yoked when it comes to self-esteem. It's amazing how to hear people talk about the ideal mate, your ideal partner, but the ideal man you describing, the ideal woman you describing got a self-esteem through the roof and yours is through the ground. A woman with low self-esteem will never never end up with a man with high self-esteem, honey. You are your problem. Your magnet is attracting more of the same. All I attract is weed head and dope addicts because your self-esteem magnet, boo, is only pulling that to you. Your ideal mate might be up there, but you don't think the world of yourself. So if you don't think the world of yourself, how are you going to pull a partner who thinks the world of himself? Like attracts like. Brother with low self-esteem, sister with high self-esteem, all he can do for her is be her personal slave and assistant. You ever see people never want to be around a partner they with? They'll come to an event like this and never go by each other the whole time. Get away from him. Some of y'all hear that. You over there, he over that side. Because you don't like them. But you don't like yourself either, so you need them around to distract you. They serve a purpose of keeping your miserable ass from functioning on your miserable ass. Yes! Do couples counsel? You can look at the two couples, you can see why they came together. He had a need for a woman who worshiped him, and she had a need for a man to tell her what to do. Sometimes two unhealthy people can have a happy relationship because they both sick and they know it. Yes. Yes. And then we got to talk about post-traumatic relationship disorder. This is important. I made this up. This is my word. Don't steal it. It's mine. Do you know what post-traumatic relationship disorder is? This is after you get out of one relationship, you don't take time to heal yourself, and you go run into another one. Hallelujah. Who's guilty of that? Show of hands. Oh, you actually put your hands up. Okay, bless you. No, it happens to all of us, right? Post-traumatic relationship disorder. I was in love with her. We lived together for 4, 5 years. We broke up last week, and I'm already out at the club trying to find a new queen this week. That woman is a rebound. Why am I not taking time to heal? If you was with somebody that closely, that means y'all spirits became one. Y'all was a unit. So if y'all breaking up, them spirits got to detach. That takes some time. Now you say, how long does it take to get over one relationship before I start looking for another person? That's a very personal question, but at least a season. If you've been married 30 years, this might take you a few years. You live with that man for 2 years, sister, it might take you 6 months to get over that because y'all was attached. You just don't move on. And then people say dumb stuff like, there's no better way to get over an old person than to find you a new one. Wrong. Having a new person only distracts you from the fact that you're still in love with them. Fellas, you ever date a woman and she ain't seen her baby dad for 10 years because he was locked up, and then all of a sudden he got out, and y'all went to a Dr. Umar lecture and he was there? And you could feel her oven just heating up, and she ready to cook a cookie. You're like, damn, this woman's still in love with that dude. Yes, because she never resolved that. All she did was moved on to you. Ladies, the same thing happened with y'all. He ain't done with her. Out of sight ain't out of mind, because once they come back, they're going to pick right up where they left off. Talking about you over them. No, you just ain't had the opportunity to see if you were still attached. You need time. And women, you need more time than men because you internal. You are the receiver. I'm not talking about liquid. I'm talking about spirit. I'm talking about spirit. When you lay with a man, his energy goes into you. Not physical, spiritual. Sister say, well, I'm a polyandrous. I got 4 husbands. Really? So you got the energies of 4 sick-ass brothers swimming in your womb, and you wonder why you so miserable. You ain't made like that. You are not made to be the receiver of multiple masculine energies, especially these sick kind of masculine energies we got. And that's why so many sisters are mentally unhealthy, because you playing in the game. You cannot win. You're not built to play around like that. Oh, I could love a man and lay with a man and get up and keep on going. I don't know what you're talking about. No, that's called denial. Emotional suppression. That's what that is, black woman. And black men too, we need a healing period also. Because when you don't heal and you suffer from post-traumatic relationship disorder, still being in love with the other person, you start mistreating the new person. You start projecting on them stuff they didn't even do yet because of what the last person did, because you still traumatized. Get over yourself. You need time. Spiritual evolution is about solitude. Study religion. I don't care if it's Islam, Christianity, African mysticism, East Indian religion. All of them teach that you got to spend time by yourself in order to achieve peace of mind. So if you're always dating and chasing, when do you find time to go into the great I am? When do you find time to meditate? We don't like what we are, but we ain't got the discipline to change it. Sisters, you ever had girlfriends who was married with kids, but they never wanted to go home? And soon as I got off from work, she wanted to go get some drinks. And right after I get the drinks, she wanted to go shopping. And then after I go shopping, she wanted to go get some more drinks. Then she wanted to go to the movies. Then she wanted to go eat. Like, damn! Go home! Why don't we like going home? Fellas, you call your homies up. Yo, dog, let's go swing out for a little bit. Man, I want to go here home. Nah, man, come on, man. It's a beautiful day outside. There's only 6 feet of snow out there. Come on. Why he don't want to go home? Because home is where the spirit talks to you. Home is when you're forced to look at yourself. You don't want to deal with you. You don't want to deal with your problem with your mom, the fact you ain't getting along with your sister. You don't want to talk about the fact that you cursed your son out and you need to forgive, ask for forgiveness. You don't want to deal with your problems. So you need somebody to take your mind off of it. Relationships is the newest drug in the black community. It's an addiction. It's a fix. Oh, and then we got to talk about the inner child. Do you know what the inner child is? Everybody sitting here today listening to me has a little person inside of them. The person you were from birth to age 12. That little kid still lives in you. Ladies, you got your little girl. Fellas, we got our little boys. These are the kids who suffer those unmet needs of love, trust, reciprocity. And they normally stay asleep. They don't bother you until they see something they think might help them get their needs met. Ladies, let me give you an example, ladies. You have an unmet need for attention from your father. One day, you at the Dr. Umar lecture, you meet a handsome brother. I mean, he is fine. Now, the adult woman in you says, what? I am a woman. I'm not going to sleep with this guy on the first date. We're going to date, boom, but I'm a woman. But the little girl say, hell no! He look good! You get that! And so you're trying to listen to your adult mind. No, I'm not going to do that. I don't care what you want. I never had a handsome man. You hit that. And then what happens, ladies? You let the little girl and you dictate your behavior. You do something you shouldn't have done. And then the next morning you mad and angry at yourself. How could I do that? Because you let a child run your damn life. That's why. And then we got to talk about blending the unblendable. You got kids, I got kids. Before you settle down with him, before you settle down with her, y'all got to make sure y'all agree on how to raise those blended families. Look, I'm all about education. I can never marry a woman who don't really take school seriously. My daughters are going to do their homework, and if they don't do it right, they're going to do it over. But your son don't even have to do this. Are y'all following me? My son do something wrong, he gonna get a consequence. Your son do something wrong, it's all right. That can't work. You can't have two laws in the same kingdom. But how many of us don't pay attention to how each of us parent our kids? Most of us don't study our potential husband or wife parenting skills to see if you can live with that. It's no way in hell I can live with an undisciplined child. It's no way I can live with a child who doesn't value education. So if you can't live with a child who doesn't value education, why did you marry a husband who didn't? Them kids might didn't bring y'all together, but they can surely tear y'all apart. All they got to do is go tell grandma and grandpop on you. Yeah, grandma, brother Umar hit me. And then grandma run off, you let that man hit on my grandson. Ain't gonna talk about the fact he was about to punch her in the face and I had to pull him back. You got to get your kids in order. Women, when you ain't have a man, what do? You elevate your oldest son to man of the house status. When you're about to bring a man in that house, you got to put him back in his place. Because some of y'all sons will be walking around, I need to talk to him. 8 years old, I need to talk to him. So now I got to arm wrestle with a 7-year-old because he think he your man. And men, we got to do the same thing with our daughters. Sometimes we elevate our daughters and have them thinking they the woman of the house. Then when a real woman comes, your daughter sucking her teeth and snapping her neck. That woman old enough to be her mother. You got to check her. And if you got a whole bunch of unruly kids, you shouldn't be getting married then. Because you got to get your house in order. Ain't nobody putting up with that. Catch a case. And then you marry somebody with addictions? Addictions. You're going to marry somebody with a cigarette addiction? You want to marry somebody who's only going to be around for 20 years of the marriage? I don't understand. You marry somebody with a marijuana addiction?
And the book was very popular. And a friend of mine who I interned with sent me the book. And I started looking through the book, and I said to myself that although there's some very useful and useful information in this book, there's also a lot of distortions, admissions, so forth and so on. I thought the book oversimplified black men to the point of childishness. So I said, being a therapist, being a family therapist, having never been married, I spend a lot of time working with married couples. Do a lot of therapy because I'm a child therapist, which often dictates that I work with the parents who are messing the kid up because they can't get along. Doing that for about 15 years, I begin to notice certain patterns in the black love situation. So a couple years ago, I said, you know what? I'm going to do a presentation on relationships and basically give people my assessment of what I've been seeing as it relates to black male-female relationships. Now, the benefit of hearing about relationships from me, an unmarried man, would be what? Would be the fact that I approach male-female relationships from a very scientific standpoint. I approach it from the perspective of a therapist, not as a married man. Now, a married man could come before you and tell you about his marriage, but that's it. Just because that's what he went through don't mean that's what you're going to go through. But as opposed with a therapist, I've been in all kind of houses, all types of marriages. So I have the benefit of dozens of successful and unsuccessful marriages. And so what I want to do now is distill to you, with some seriousness and with some comedy as well, my assessment of the black male-female relationship crisis. Public education is under extermination. There will be no public school in the next 30 years. Why? Because they no longer need black workers in order for the American economy to function. They no longer need black workers in order for the American economy to function. That's why you see public schools shutting down all across the country. Have they closed any down here? Not yet? Okay, it's coming. They're getting rid of the schools because they don't need black people no more. Prison is for black people, and they can get illegal immigrants to do the other work. So there's no need for school anymore. Not for us. We was brought here to serve, we're no longer needed, and so now they're looking for strategies to get rid of black people and lock them up. So build your own schools and make your own economy, or we're going to be exterminated. It's really just that simple. Now, relationships. Why do relationships fail? Number one, self-hatred. Too many black people are looking for other people to make them feel better. That's right. You're getting involved with a man, with a woman, not because you really enjoy their company or because you really enjoy the camaraderie you have. You're getting into relationships because you want them to do for you what you can't do for yourself, which is feel better. A lot of us are trying to find somebody else to do what? Make us like us. Depression, misery, and loneliness is sending you out into the relationship world. Not because you're looking for someone else whose happiness and life vision and destiny you want to support. That's not why you're getting into a relationship. You're getting into a relationship because you got needs and you want them to fill them. In other words, many of our relationships today are quid pro quos. I'm getting in this relationship under the agreement that you're going to be able to put me in Oprah Winfrey's house. I'm getting in this relationship because you're a beautiful woman and I expect you to stay that way until you're an old woman. Quid pro quo. We don't come to relationships for honest, non-selfish reasons. Every reason we get into the relationship is selfish. Me, I. And if you got two people only worrying about themselves, the relationship must fail because it is a crisis in selfishness. Unhappy people coming together looking for happiness. How can two unhappy people make a healthy relationship? You coming with baggage, she coming with baggage. Kaboom. All of us, when we come into the world, we come into the world with what? Unmet needs. Everybody in here. When you're born from your mother and father, what do you have a need for? Love. A need for deep intimacy, trust, an ability to rely and have faith on somebody, reciprocity, the ability to exchange an equal give and take. Everybody in here, in order for you to have a healthy marriage, you must have had a healthy love affair with your mother and your father. That's right. A boy must have a love affair with his mother first. And he has one with his father. That's where he secures his manhood. The girl must have one with her mother first, and she has one with her father. If a boy hasn't had a love affair with his mother, it can be difficult to have one with other women. If a girl has never been loved adequately by her father and has never loved her father adequately, that can lead to hopeless romantic syndrome, ladies. What is hopeless romantic syndrome? We'll talk about it a little bit later when we talk about dysfunctional personalities, but the short version is a hopeless romantic woman is a woman who falls in love with every man she meets because she's looking for a father's validation. Every man becomes the objectified daddy. And then you cling to him. You smother him to the point where he leaves you and reinforces the belief you had that no black men are good anyway. Look at the cycle. Look at the cycles, the self-perpetuating defeatist cycles. So the first thing I said is what? We have a need for love. If you got love from your mom and your dad, you're going to be good. But let's say Dr. Umar's mother didn't love him adequately. We didn't have a good intimacy. I really didn't have a good emotional attachment with my mother. How am I going to deal with that when I get older and start dating other women? I'm going to deal with it one or two ways. You either run away from it because you're scared of it because you never had it. You run away from it because you're scared of it, you never had it. Or you do what? You run to it, which means you overindulge to try to get the need met. So Dr. Umar never had a love affair with his mother. I get into a relationship with a black woman. I'm likely to do one of two things. I'm either going to try to make her love me, try to make this relationship go faster than what it needs to go because I have an unmet need I'm trying to get met through her. Are y'all following me? Or I'm going to do what? Soon when I start feeling that attachment, soon when I can tell we starting to fall in love, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to split. I'm getting the hell out of Dodge because I'm afraid of this. Ladies, you ever date a man and you knew he loved you? He was into you. You knew he loved you and one day he just disappeared. Had nothing to do with another woman. You're like, that man loved me. I know he did. Why did he leave? Because he ain't used to love. It's scary. He's afraid that if he lets you love him, you're going to hurt him like his mama did. Same thing go for women. You either run away from it or you run to it. So that's intimacy. What about trust? You got a woman who could never trust her father. Her father never kept his word. Every time he promised something, he never delivered. She get into a relationship. Guess what? She's going to do one or two things. Trust every man she meets on the first date. Here you go, boo. Here's the keys to my apartment. First date. Because you're trying to force trust because you never had it. Or she going to do what? Put her guard up so high that she never trusts no man she dates. She's been married 30 years and still don't trust her husband. Some of y'all in this room right now, men and women, wondering why you keep repeating the same relationship pattern because you haven't figured out your psychological riddle. What didn't your parents give you that you keep trying to get from other adults?
I keep attracting the same man. I just get these men and they come and they use me, Dr. Umar. They use me. Why? Because obviously you have a look on your face that says, use me. You have an energy that radiates to other men that let them know you feel needy. You need a man in order to feel like a woman. You will always be taken advantage of. And then you have reciprocity. What is reciprocity? That's dealing with give and take. If you grew up in a house where you was able to get your needs met, give and take is easy. But what if you grew up in a house where you couldn't eat if you wasn't on time? If you was 5 minutes late for dinner, your brothers and sisters ate it all up. If you didn't get down to that Christmas tree on time, somebody stole your gifts and sold them. No, this is real. People grow up in situations like this. I work with kids like this. Living in a house is a damn war. You want some soap to wash up with? Well, you better save that little piece and hide it under your mattress. When you grow up in those type of environments, you get into relationships and you keep on doing what? Repeating what you experienced. Now you're in a relationship with a good woman, good woman, good woman, good woman. She do everything for you. You don't do nothing for her. Why? Because you so paranoid that if you show her any sign that you care, she gonna use you. My premise of the talk tonight is that most of our adult relationships are doomed to failure from the unhealthy patterns we've seen in our houses growing up as children. The relationship was doomed to fail before y'all even got together because you didn't understand yourself and he didn't understand himself. And both of y'all looking for somebody to do what no other human can do, which is make you happy. How many times do I hear that from people? I just want a man to make me happy. I just want a woman to make me happy. Can't nobody make you happy because emotions are internal. You create them. Can't nobody make you happy but you. Stop giving that responsibility to somebody else. If you don't like you, how in the hell am I going to like you? Some of us can't stand ourselves, but don't understand why other people don't like us when you don't like yourself. And this whole relationship is based on me trying to make you feel better about who you are. Are we serious? And the minute I don't do a good job of distracting you from you, you drop me off and pick up somebody else, and then you run around and say, Dr. Umar made me miserable. He made my life a living hell. I'm so unhappy. No, boo-boo, you was unhappy before you met me. All I did was expose it. Nobody make you happy but you. Most of us addicted to relationships. Can't be by ourselves. One relationship over, we jump into another. One marriage over, we jump into another. Why are you running from yourself? Do you know why we don't like to be by ourselves? The reason we don't like to be by ourselves is because when you by yourself, do you know what your consciousness does? It holds up a mirror of everything about you that you need to fix, but don't feel like it right now. So the best way to get out of your own responsibility is to find somebody to distract you from it. And that's why relationships begin to fail once you meet somebody who's really trying to help you grow, because you're not interested in growing. Hey baby, why don't you stop smoking them cigarettes? You don't tell me what to do. I'm not dating you to become a better person. I'm dating you to cope with the person I already am. And that's why when you date people, you have to do what? Evaluate their willingness to grow. Because you are on a spiritual journey, and the man and woman you choose to walk with on that journey got to be able to support your destiny. How are you spiritual married to a materialistic person? That can't work. But some of y'all trying to make it work. I know all types of conscious brothers married to women who are Beyonce chicks. Talking about some, Dr. Umar, she raising my daughter with weaves and perms and blonde hair, but you knew that when you met her. Why are you trying to make her something she ain't? You can't change nobody. When you meet somebody, you got to ask yourself the $1 million question. Can I live with this person as they are for the rest of my life until the day they die if they never change nothing about themselves? Can you say, yes, I can tolerate him forever? Yes, I can tolerate her forever? Or do you just like most of what you see, but not all of what you see, and you fail to recognize that problems don't disappear, they only get worse? Who you fooling? It's like so many black women I meet who, when I say, why did you marry him? because y'all don't seem like a good fit, because he proposed. So you got married just because he asked you? Yeah. You know what's bad for black women out here, Dr. Umar? You lecture about it. I seen on YouTube. You said only 1 out of 4 of us ever going to get married. He asked, I said, hell yeah. Ladies, listen to me, black women. The most attractive thing that you have cannot be bought. It's called confidence. I don't care how good you look. I don't care how much money you spend on your hair, your clothes, your pocketbook. The most attractive thing to a man is confidence. You can have 2 women side by side. One is drop dead gorgeous. The other one is average. But if the other one exudes the confidence, if her God energy is stronger than yours, she will walk away with him. Now that's the good news. So you ain't got to spend no more money on hair, none of that garbage. Work on yourself. Get married because he asked you. Listen to me, black woman. I know the ratio. What's the ratio of black men to black women in Louisville? What is it, 1 to what? 35. Dang, it ain't that bad. If it's 1 to 35, I'm moving here. What about 1 to 20? 1 to 3, I don't think it's that good. 1 to 9, 1 to 8. Let's say 1 to 8. Listen to me, black woman. So you say I'm 1 out of 8 possible wives? I gotta be desperate to make sure I get one. Wrong. First of all, let's look at that 8 women. You 1 of 8, right? 3 of them crazy as hell. So now you 1 of 5. Okay? 1 of them is confused. So she ain't into men. Now you 1 of 4. 1 of them married, now you 1 of 3. In other words, it ain't as bad as you look once you take out the crazies and everybody else. You're only dealing with like 1 to 3. And who gets the 1? And fellas, you need to watch that marijuana, especially the young guys. You know what that does? I did a whole research paper on the effects of THC, the chemical active, the psychochemical in marijuana. You know what that does? It slows your blood down. You know what slow blood does when it's time to be intimate with your woman, man? You can't get intimate because the blood is moving slow. The blood is high. So now you can't perform. And she got cookies to bake and you can't bake them! And then some of you women get mad at the man. You the one who was feeding him the weed. You made him impotent. You. These are the things we got to talk about. And then we're not honest with each other when we date. We lie. We show each other the best parts of ourselves. You notice that? You ever see somebody they've been dating for 10 years and then they moved in together and they broke up the second week they lived together? Broke up the second week they was married. How did that happen when y'all was together for 10 years? Because when they was together for 10 years, that was all a front. That wasn't the real people. When do we normally show our partners the real self? When somebody gets pregnant, we get engaged, we move in together, or we get married. Now, what is it about pregnancy, engagement, cohabitation, and marriage that brings out the worst? It's not that it brings out the worst, it brings out the real you. See, when a man gets a woman pregnant, we drop our ego. We stop faking. Because we say, we got to pay for this. The hell with faking, I'm going to be me. Woman get married, she got the ring on her finger. She cooked for you every week when y'all was just dating. Now y'all married, she ain't cooked yet. Because that wasn't who she was. That was just the bait. Ladies, he used to open the door for you. Y'all dating, he would open the door every day, rub your feet down. Y'all got married, you put your feet up on him, he kicked them off. What you putting them over here for? Because we got this tendency, once we get into the relationship, we think we can quit. Nah, I done wifed you now, I ain't got to do none of that no more. I'm your wife, I don't need to cook no more. But woman, if you don't cook, ain't nothing wrong with a woman who don't cook as long as that matches up with the husband's perception of what the woman's role is. See, we got to talk about gender balance. Ladies, what do you expect a man to do in the house, and did you communicate that with your fiance? Fellas, what did you expect your woman to do, and did you communicate that? Some women don't want to raise their kids. Can we be honest? So So if you're a black man coming from a traditional family where the women raise the kids and you dealing with this new jack queen, she ain't raising no babies. She come home from the hospital, she give you a box of Pampers and 2 cans of Isomil. I holla. And now you looking at her like, wait a minute, these your kids. But she never told you she was going to be home with them kids. Stop making assumptions and start asking people. Like I tell women all the time, I get a lot of emails from women about this homosexual thing. How do you know if your man is this? How do you know if your man is that? Well, having never been, I can't say. But I tell you what I do know and what I've noticed. If you're not sure about your man's orientation, you need to get familiar with his friends. You hear me, ladies? Because your man might not show signs. His best friend may not show signs. So what you got to do is you got to invite all 10 of his homies over for a Super Bowl party. Oh, I love him! And then I want you to stare at him. And the first one whose eyes get big, and if he shaved his eyebrows off, get out the house! Get out the house! Get! Because if he flaming, somebody in his social group will flame. He gonna float right up your steps. You ain't gonna even know he came in. Invite the group. And if he ever accidentally puts your underclothing on, right? I'm sorry, baby, I thought these was my boxers. Ah! Your boxers don't have a seat in them! And you gotta watch the jokes that they make. Like, yeah, you better stop, or if I'm gonna find somebody else. He said, yeah, I'm gonna find somebody else. She said, yeah, I'm gonna find somebody to treat me good. He said, yeah, I'm gonna find somebody to treat me good. You say, if you don't stop playing with me, I'm gonna find a man who could treat me better than you. And then he said, if you don't stop playing with me, I'm gonna find a man who could treat me better than you. No, real rap. I just got an email, real rap. Sister's husband just confessed to her that he was homosexual up until 5 years before they got married. He just now told her this. Informed consent. We lie to each other. You get married, you got a terminal illness. He got a right to know that. She got a right to know that. You don't get married yesterday and pop up today, you know I'm HIV positive. You don't do stuff like this. You got to be honest. Stop dropping your dirty luggage, because you know you got spiritual vampires in Louisville, right? You know what a spiritual vampire is? These are men and women who look like regular people, but they not. And they only come out at night. They be at the clubs, in the Umar lectures, when the sun is there. And then you meet them and you start talking to them, and everything be going well for a while, male and female, and then after a couple weeks, they just start showing you a nasty ass side you never knew they had, and they start bringing up their problems and dropping all their baggage on your step. You go over their house, the house get dark even if it's light outside. Then they start growing teeth, and they suck your spiritual energy. You never dated nobody where every time you was around them you felt drained? You like, damn, every time I come around you, I took my multivitamins and everything, but every time I come around you drain me. And then your friends be looking at you like, girl, you don't look good. You like, you done had 3 birthdays since last week. Because you're dating a spiritual vampire. Fellas, same thing with fellas. You got that woman, she always complaining. She just zapping your energy. You came home happy, baby, I got a raise today. I didn't. Don't you get caught with no spiritual vampire. But some of us like that. Some of us think we were brought here by God to fix other people's problems. A glutton for punishment. Raise your hand. Who in here like to fix other people? You ain't even fixed your damn self yet. But you would have fixed. Stop it. That's not your job. That's a person who don't think they worthy of happiness. So they're always dating people who make them unhappy. Fix yourself. You cannot change nobody. If he couldn't change himself, how you going to change him, sister? That's crazy. These are the things that we need to be thinking about. And if you don't feel like dating one person at a time, then say that. Women are very uncomfortable about saying that, and I understand why. Fellas are uncomfortable about saying it, and I know why, because you know if you say that, you might not get no cookies. So you lie too, and then after you get a cookie, then you want to be honest after the cookie. Well, you know I see more than one woman. You should have told her that up front. You got more than one woman? If that's your thing, you ain't wrong for that, but she got a right to choose whether she want to be part of a polygamous arrangement. You got brothers married to one woman, he just show up with the next wife one night. This your co-wife, honey. Damn! 10 months pregnant? You don't just drop it off on no sister like that. And don't forget, you got sexually transmitted diseases off the wazoo. Gonorrhea, chlamydia, AIDS, herpes. You don't get rid of herpes? Y'all better be careful out here. Elders too. I just met an elder brother, man. He got herpes, man. Had nothing his whole life. Got with some woman, got herpes. You got to protect yourself out here. Crabs? You too damn old to be getting crabs. That's 16, 17. How you 39 with life? You grown. I'm a grown person. These are the things you got to talk. Some people don't like washing up every day. No, this is real. I got an email from a sister about her husband. She said, Dr. Umar, he only washes up twice a week. And I asked her why. He said, because he don't really see a need to waste that water. Y'all laughing? This is real rap. I got an email from a brother 2 months ago. No, this is real. I'm going to do a whole book on my email questions. Brother said, Dr. Umar, my wife has a certain perfume that is not pleasing. This is real. I'm not making this up. He said, what should I do? Excuse you, tell her. Do you want everybody in the neighborhood to smell her? You tell her. Well, I don't know how to tell her. Be direct. You need some incense. And ladies, y'all don't be honest with your friends. Fellas, how many of you had a girl who would come and tell you about their girlfriend? Yeah, you know, Shaquita don't be smelling right. But if that's your girl, tell her! What you telling me for? Sister, tell your girlfriend. You gonna let the whole world find out first? What kind of friend are you? Bring us some myrrh. And ladies, stop telling men when the last time you've been intimate. I don't know why y'all do this. Yeah, I ain't been with nobody 5 years. Who asked you? I didn't ask you that. Why are you volunteering information? And then you decide to give a cookie and it ain't nothing left. Stop lying! $5 years, really? Well, 5 minutes. And then we got to stop introducing romance too soon. You know why? Because before you got intimate, you could objectively evaluate whether or not this was a good person for you. You could see with both eyes. Sister say, this brother ain't good for me. He don't want to work or nothing. He got an anger problem, breath stink. You know, I can't. Fella, yesterday you was able to see it. Now, I don't think the sister really good for me. She a good sister, but I don't think our destiny's lining up. You could think, but then y'all get intimate. Now you can't think no more. Be honest with yourself, black woman. Yesterday you knew you should have left him alone. But last night, y'all crossed that line. And he hit you with a lightning bolt. Boom! Now you can't see straight no more. And then your girlfriends are like, what you think? When you gonna call it off? When you gonna let him know you don't want to be bothered? Well, I've been thinking, everybody deserves a second chance. Boom! Men, same thing with us. You see a sister, you say, she cool like a friend, but she ain't wifey material. And then y'all cross that line and she do certain types of tricks you didn't know existed. And now your homie like, when you gonna call it off? Everybody deserves a second chance. Who you fooling? Do you not know intimacy don't keep you married? I don't care how good it is. It does not keep you married. In fact, it can make it worse. It can make it worse because now you're frustrated. Here's the thing. There's 3 types of attachments that we have with our parents: secure, anxious, and insecure. 95% of the people in this room, the type of attachment you had with your parents in your childhood up to age 12 is predictive of the type of relationship attachments you have now. If you came from parents where you had a secure attachment, you're probably in a secure relationship right now, or soon to be. But if you had an anxious attachment where you wasn't sure if you can trust them, you're probably anxious now in your relationships. And if you had an insecure relationship with your parents, you probably have an insecure one now. Go back into your childhood and fix out yourself. We don't want to go back into that history. No, we could talk about King Tut all night. But soon we start talking about what went on in that house. We don't want to talk about that because it hurts. But that's the only way you can get to heaven is by going through your personal hell. Nobody gets the peace of mind until you go through your garbage. Remember I talked about unmet needs? These are the 4 major unmet needs. Love. If you never got love, you will either what? Be emotional unavailable, afraid to let somebody love you, or you will be emotionally dependent, falling in love with everybody you meet. Security and attachment, you're either going to be physically unavailable or you're going to smother your partner to death. Show of hands, who dates somebody who smothers the hell out of you? You need an oxygen tank when you wake up. You got to link yourself up because they don't want to get the hell away from you. Can I go to the store by myself, please? See, some of y'all can't raise your hand because the smotherer is right next to you looking at you with a... I wish you would raise your hand. I'll cut you. You're like, damn, I can't get away with my homies. Why she always gotta come? I can't go out with my girlfriends. Why he always gotta come? He's a smotherer because he never had that secure attachment, so he got to follow you around everywhere you go like an overgrown baby. Why are you putting up with that? Oh, you don't want to be alone, so you'll put up with anybody you're not happy with because you don't like yourself more than you don't like that relationship. And then we got people who got trust issues, so they never trust you or trust you on the first date. Here go my social security number in case you need it. Begging to be used. And then the 4th type, reciprocity. These people who never had healthy give and take in childhood home will either become stingy as hell or they will use you to death. Ladies, you ever date a man, you did everything for that man, his birthday came around, you bought him a nice birthday cake, took care of his kids, your birthday came around, and you got an e-card. E-card. You spent $300 on him, and you got an e-card. And some of y'all laughing because you're guilty. When you date somebody, you got to ask yourself, do they have the ability to love you? Do they have the ability to trust you? Do they have the ability to reciprocate? And do they have the ability to attach?